If I'm jadol, I'm a dicky mole and I'm a fan some more. What are I'm waiting for, Lord? Second of them, a friend, till I never do cold. Lasilo Mujulod, Nadia take a jalod. Nampetana can dump for the run jalod. Nampetana can dump for the run salute. Nampetana can dump for the run kill. Dampo, the run moti. Birikama mkolo, ngo fan soul, estila mol, jonkunda mkolo, katami katafo manka mankunda mol, jena nole nata, mele dendala, wanjala mkolo, ngakara fala, karafa femolong, karafa mukama, karafa mol, ngaminge fonene majo, thinking de jerry follow, saka nanki ninki nanka singata jamba sababe lari mbanda, dinkela, dinke, esti dinke follow, dinkela, dinke, dimuso dinke follow, kela ke, mfama chamola mimbo konteri inkanet kunta kinte do kuke se fa kawleke yena kandi kando fodinke do muka ke no konte fondinke ni ngari ke koina na mamoja mimbo konte dem bay fam gato amaki mola ndama fan sumol wotoro mu example lord second of them fendila de do cool lasilo mujulod nadia ke jalo nampetana kendam kodoron jalud nampetana kendam kodoron salud nampetana kendam kodoron kill ndako dorombo. Rapa Faal yang tadi nana yang kumandi TRRC bar esa Faal yang kumandi rapanya keep doing what you do miral bal punchline sul kayan leka pasada tal bal nimbal belarim bal kangam bos ko bilal bal nimbal karena music bola moyala na walal kalal nindal makanya kan di posuta buayal gulu kumbal ada hapo fuar bala bata pe maje Faal de fakambol no masabatal lampu bal future be bright in ko general lampu fal ka musical dogu niko senelal palanal mamba la nonsense claim la momo lapta man sayala ede farin state Senegal ifamu jato amaki mola ndama fan sumol wotoro we example lord second of them fendila de do cool lasilo mujulod nadia ke jalo nampetana kendam kodoron jalud nampetana kendam kodoron salud nampetana kendam kodoron kill ndako dorombo.
Well, from the great state of Texas, Austin, Texas, that's me coming to you from the great state of Texas, and from DC, that's called Pastor Madao, and from Atlanta, Father Boss. We are back again. It's Sunday. If it is Sunday, it is for the people by the people program. Hey guys. Yes, Radimoski.
So no, definitely.
Man, imagine in Atlanta. When I go to Senegalese in Atlanta.
Atlanta same old. Yeah. We kind of miss you.
Oh man, I miss you guys so much.
So this weekend be there Yangi Austin.
Mangi Austin, Texas. Dekabu nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. And a very you can tell it's a very rich city. You have a lot of rich people.
Culture-wise, I guess.
Culturally, I don't know about that. I mean, I didn't see any.
You mean rich as in?
As in monetary means.
Yeah.
It's very Caucasian, if you will. The only thing downside, really, it's a very rich city, and it's a shame that with all the money in this city, they have probably the highest number of homelessness I have ever seen in any city.
Really?
That's totally weird. I think they need to really, Texas needs to do better. Atlanta is, has a lot of homelessness. I mean, we have a serious homeless problem, but Austin is really, really bad. But again, I think it's one of the most beautiful cities I have seen so far. It's just a beautiful city with a lot of stuff going on, a lot of activities, and yeah. But more than DC on so many levels, because some of DC is village. So Atlanta musical fully. I mean, it's not even in comparison to all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you know how it rolls.
But I guess the Democrats are still having problems rolling taxes. I mean, this past election, we thought that we've gotten as close as it can as we've gotten so far, but it's still a red, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, this place. I mean, I have Monday. I mean, and I know Austin probably has a lot of Democrats, but with all my walking, I walked around the city like crazy. I mean, I get out and walk. You know how I do it. I love to do my walk, and I have seen a lot of Trump signs on, stickers, bumper stickers on people's cars. I haven't seen much of Trump pens. I haven't seen much of but I suspect, especially this University of Austin students, I suspect there are a lot of Democrats among them. I have a feeling there might be a good Democratic base here.
Usually on university students tend to
I think so.
Democrats at least.
Yes.
Liberal.
But beautiful city. I love the ambience of the city, to be honest. I think I can see me wanting to live in Austin, Texas.
Really?
Yes. Yes. There are no Gambians. I will ask for Allah. Let me not say that. There are very, very few Gambians. The only Gambian actually I can say I know in this city is Chornanjai. And I'm sure there probably are other Gambians.
In Austin. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes, he lives in Austin. But that's it. I don't know of any other Gambian, really. And I'm sure there might be one or two, possibly. But I don't, it's not like Dallas, Texas. Let me put it that way. Yeah.
How far is it from Dallas, actually?
I think 3 hours. 3 hours drive.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. But I love this city. It's beautiful. It has a lot of, activities. They have this nice water way that comes through the city, and it's called, I think it's Colorado River or something like that. That's what they call it. I can't remember. But anyway, that literally goes through the city. At night, it's beautiful.
Xam nga Musa lu olof di wax ne ku xamul lu neex lu naxaree laa rey mooy problème bu banka soo jógee si
Habib is telling me
Atlanta.
Musa nga ne?
No, Habib, I don't want to. Somebody's telling me my lightning it's too dark.
Oh, okay. Ko nga ne ko xamul ne waxante ko sa libaatu bi
olof ne ku xamul lu neex lu naxare ko rey waaw xam nga yow soo dëkkee si village yi si ni mel ni Atlanta sakatuma yow sa fu mu dëkk sa moom si city mu dëkk sa naka la tudda Musa what's your county Jonesboro Jonesboro dafa mel ni gis nga sa hillbilly so foo demati rek la pay taar rek nga ni dëkk bi rafet na loolu la
no but it's beautiful. You gotta no, why you coach Hara so you next meeting again in Atlanta. I will take you to Jonesboro. We have a lake area that is the most beautiful in the state of Georgia. I mean,
Minnesota la dekon. Fa lake.
Minnesota so bad. You better mention another place. Ñom Chorno Ba ñoo dëkk Minnesota. Chorno Ba knows. Chorno Ba sa wana mako mu ne ma Minnesota mom waji wax.
Oh, is the state with 10 what is it 10,000 lakes or whatever. So lake mom taxuma jo.
100,000. It doesn't correct for me.
Lake rek taxul ma naan ma nga dem nak pour visiter lakes. Gis na ko sonna.
Am nga sa waji mom moy Midwest na. Am nga mom ay Missouri ni ak su la ko
Missouri la lay de mom di wax Missouri
am na do yoy de
Wow, man lake landscape yi leen le taxuma jog de.
Thank you.
Mane naka ki sa waji la jënd bugam bi démba naka la turati banka
Matthew.
No.
Oh, Andrew Weng Toma. Send
Kan?
Weng ile kak.
Asin Weng.
Oh, Asin. Dafa binda book. No, I didn't know suma boss binda na book di. Kan la ko binda ni?
It's just out. You know.
Oh, okay. Bobu na ko jenda. See, that's history right there. Bobu ko jangu. In fact, that should be in our curriculum in our schools in the Gambia.
No, you only got what I don't know about original Bena. Since mom Asin Wega mom la like Mota who support Arsenal, you need to get him a copy. Nako, you know what this mugini. Nako jena audio book.
No, I'll do that. Now, I'm going to audio mayone. How would I even accept it from us? I'm going to malafila. Coach pasa bajau ni Musa Jeng ni Bangkamane. Ya, malafila. Musa ko tata le but coach ni Bangka wolu. Hey, wolu.
Musa moy baling bi fum nekk you know. So
My darling kan.
Ara baro.
You know what? I think Banka last week, I guess after Sunshobi,
well,
there has been a lot of pushback. People are basically saying, especially Manmayo,
well,
we're definitely trying to get a job from the government. Maybe we just need to come out and say it.
Okay, all right. President Barrow, I need a job. So if you have a nice job for me, by all means, I'm coming to the Gambia. Have the job for me. I would love to work with you, Mr. President. So this is an official offer from me to come and work with you. So you get me a job, please, Mr. President.
I think
and I'll take you a job.
So what do you want to be? Chief of staff?
No, man, I'm chief of staff. Ma arrange ko affaire.
I just wanna remind people that for the people by the people, it's really platform bohamne. The platform has what I would call aspiration. In other words, where we want what we want this platform to be, and that is to be as independent as it can get. Now, that doesn't mean the panelists or us. I'm sure that we have our own inbuilt biases, if you want to call it that. I mean, leanings, if you want to even get into there, maybe some of us, whether we like it or not, we're caught up in party politics, maybe. But as far as this platform is concerned, we want to make it as independent as it can get. And in the process, sometimes, you belonging to a party, you are going to hear things that you do not like. If we're going to invite Khalifa Sallah and he comes on this show, what is expected of us is to challenge Khalifa and bring the other perspective where people have a problem with their party or whatever they are talking about, their agenda. If we don't do that, then we're not being straight with our listeners. When we have someone, let's say last week we had Nyang Jai, I don't know what his party politics is, but he came with an agenda. Now, the government is not here to speak for itself. So what we do is to basically tell Nyang Neko, look, there is another perspective here. For us, we believe by doing that, our listeners are better off. We are not Barrow media entertainment. So if you're hoping for that, obviously you're not going to like us. If you think that we are Bantaba like Sekou Sedili, where, I mean, UDP is the best thing since sliced bread, you are going to be disappointed because that's not who we are. We are not into this propaganda kind of a thing. Are we biased? Yes, we are biased, I'm sure. No doubt about that. Why not? Didn't Jim to make sure we level with the Gambian people. We want to have a transformed Gambia where we can have dialogue, civil discussion, agree to disagree, and give everybody a chance. That's what really matters. Lolo Monyo drive noon. At least that's what we want this platform to be about. Next week, of course, today we're going to be hearing from Sanna Jawara. He's going to give us a perspective of the 2021 budget, what he thinks of it, his own perspective. Next week, the Minister of Finance, they're sending 3 of their people, Director of Budget, Research, people that actually put the budget together. We're going to challenge them. We're going to raise the issues that we think Gambians have been raising. And then you call leralal. If we don't have a platform like this, I mean, I don't know. I don't think the Gambia that we want to build, that's what it should be all about, really.
But furthermore, and let me jump in here before Coach comes in. Look, this is not about one trying to explain yourself to one another. You are entitled to your opinion. Other people are entitled to their opinions, and this is an opinion issue. People are totally entitled to their opinion. Musa Jeng is entitled to his opinion. You don't have to apologize for your opinion. You don't even have to explain your opinion. Somebody can take it for what it is. Does that mean those who are accusing you of that, you can also turn around and accuse them of being in another political party and because they want get a job with that government when it comes in? Are we going to go that route? I mean, how can we really have a national conversation? And the whole idea of even working for government is such a horrible thing. Just because if you don't work for our party's government, whatever, then you must be very bad. You must be very evil. You must be this. As if everybody who is working for Barrow is evil. This is an insult to our conscience and as a people. Civil servants that are working in that government are good, decent people. Let's not turn around and call these people names just because our party is not in power. Huh?
Some.
Well, no. The reason why I'm generalizing it because I believe majority of them are decent people, Coach. I'm not saying it's 100%. Trust me, you want me to start calling names there that I think are disgusting, I can do that too. But there's a reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. The point is, 99.99% of the civil servants in that country are good, decent people. Let's not really turn this into, as long as our party is not in power, everybody who works for the government is supposed to be called names, is a bad person, is this, is that, and the other. Do you have political operatives? Because those are the names that are, for me, the problem. People who are out there doing dirty stuff, really, that affects our country in such a negative fashion. Those are my problem, not the civil servants or even ministers that are just doing their job. I mean, how can we really sit here and make it seem as if though until our party comes to power, that we're going to call everybody in the government a name? No, people are going to work with Adama Barrow's government, and majority of those people are going to be good, decent people. There are ones that are bad apples. Let's call them out and let's confront those people. And let's hold that government to account. If they do wrong, let's confront them on those issues. If anybody who is working the government does wrong, let's confront that person. But this idea that anybody who works for the government is disgusting, is terrible, is a bad person, should be called names, I think that's an insult, not just to that person, but to our collective intelligence. I mean, that's insane. Donald Trump is the most disgusting individual in the world. One of the. But does that mean people who work in his government, all of them are disgusting people? No. If you want me to call the names of the ones I think are disgusting there, I will do that. But overwhelming majority of people who are working in even Donald Trump's government are good, decent people who are just trying to do the right thing for their country. This is what this is all about. Let's fight over policies, not name calling or this person that works for this government is bad person or that person. No. Watch their behavior, watch their actions, call them out on it. Because otherwise, when your party comes to power, and I can see that happening too, because Gambia, that's the way it seems we do our politics. People who are outside the government will call your government every name in the books, and anybody who works there is supposed to be called every name in the books. This is insane. Back in the days, these same people were called DSS, Diaspora Sulu Sajima. I mean, this is what the name that people here were being called because they disagreed with government's policies. Those people are supposed to be hailed now as the good guys, and the ones that are working for the government are supposed to be called names. When is this going to stop? And why are we on this track? Because to me, this doesn't make any sense. Really, you don't have to explain your opinion to nobody.
No. It's not explaining.
I am apologize to anybody for my opinion.
No.
My opinion is not big. Agree with me, fine. If you don't,
this is not an apology.
Okay.
This is not an apology. It's just reminding people what this platform is all about. I think it is important. It's just to remind them. I mean, I believe what I believe in. I mean, Lulumom, nobody can change that. But what I'm saying is, I mean, we give our listeners a lot of respect, and just to let them know that Musa Ajeng ain't here looking for a job. Neither are you or Pasamba for that matter. That's not what this platform is trying to do. What this platform is trying to do is
looking for a job in the
But anyway, and you're not trying to be petty too. It's just or defensive. It's just again, just reminding people if they come here what to expect. Pop Samba.
Well, guys, Akasa, listen. This is a program. Even some of the hosts here, we have never sat and said, you know what, when we go today, this is going to be our opinions. We don't do that. When we are on the phone, we are debating issues, yell, people get mad, and then we go our way. That's it. You know, this is not, this is about the country, the Gambia. And it would be foolish for anybody to think that everybody is going to agree with you or your position. The reason why we have today, 16 political parties, is because everybody believes that they have better, you know, they may have the same thinking. Why people will say that, you know what, maybe my ideas are much better. I may be, you know, able to do this much better than the other person. It means nothing. At the end of the day, you see, there was something that I saw today, Musa, and I saw people commenting on it. And, you know, Mr. Diba, Honorable Lamin Dambo Diba, his body was brought back today, you know, to the Gambia from Germany. They had the burial. And you look at the people who went to receive the body at the airport, to see Khalifa Sallah sit there with Ousseynou Dabo. When everything that people say here, when they, you know, Doini, UDP, the attack and all this, you know, insults and all this stuff, and then you see these people, man, they sit there, you know, because they share a sorrow and a pain. They understood, they like, Khalifa understood, you know what? UDP is not my enemy. The members of the UDP are not my enemies. These are people that we share the same country with, but we have different views and ideas of how to develop the country. And I think that if we start to learn from that, we'll become a lot more tolerant. And I just want to remind people, it is silly. Even your own kids in your house, your own kids, you will never agree with them. You will tell them something, you know, smoke parafodof. They look at you, you tell them, they look at you and shake their hands. Oh my God, this man, I think, has lost it. But that's how life is. Life, listen, this is a marketplace of ideas, this program. Correct. You cannot come here now and expect you are the most educated person, so people are just going to for regular attack to this is not Talibanism. You know, this is for the people by the people. You come here, we debate the issues. And you see, even sometimes you may even be saying the same things, and we'll be arguing about it. You know what? Banka and Pasamba, I think you guys are saying the same thing, but you're saying it differently. But that's just what it is. That is the essence of democracy. But again, to me, I don't get worried by that much. There are two things about Gambia, and we have to be very careful of. We have the Jayate aspect. They want to make you as if you are the greatest person since sliced bread. So if you are consumed by that, you will forget who you are.
Correct.
And when they do not agree with you, you are a hypocrite. You are a hater. The reason why you don't support Party X is because you don't like Group X. And it does not happen. If you ask Ousseynou Dabo today, Ousseynou does not want 100% voters. Go to election, you never have 100%. If he had that, he would be very, very uncomfortable with it. If you ask anybody for the same thing. But this is the essence of democracy. Let's just like to borrow from our own photo. Baka, have you sent Papa Falsa the link?
Yeah, I have sent it. He's coming in soon.
Yeah. Like Dr. Sen would say, let us agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And I think as we go on, Musa, as our whole country, if there is one biggest disappointment that I have about this transition, is the lack of civic education. This was a perfect opportunity to try to widen the democratic space, because just accepting, allowing people to speak their minds is one thing, but helping them to understand the importance of divergent views is another thing. But at the end of the day, hey, life goes on. We'll continue to debate. People may agree with Coach Tai. Others will listen. They'll tell you you're looking for jobs. I remember when Usainu was there were people who believed, you know what, Coach me, what do they call it? Undercover UDP. You remember, Musa, I was just checking, about a year ago, no, about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Usainu Dabo came to Washington, D.C. to meet the people. I was watching the video again and saw Musa's Yabate comment, Banker, you can take this to the bank. If you want to organize a program where people will come, you got to take it to people to where they know how to do it. Atlanta is the place. I'm like, okay, whatever. And when Usainu came, Jeuru came to me and said, you know what, we want you to moderate this. I'm like, no, Sophie. Yeah, Sophie was doing something. So they had me moderating the program. First, I was reading the comments again. Somebody was, why is Coach not dressed in suit? He doesn't even respect the program. Okay, I went to listen. I went to moderate. And then down the line, Halifa came to the US, was in Dallas. And somebody wrote, you know what? Yeah, Usainu Dabo came to the US, Coach was there moderating it. Halifa Saleh came here, Coach did not even go to the program. Now, Halifa was in Dallas, and I think and Washington State. I live in Maryland. But that's just what it is. There's always these people who try to find Monday. To me, I don't care. Coach is going to be Coach, irrespective of Kukobuga, Kukoba. But again,
your opinion. It is what it is. People will have the rights to their opinion.
ñun mi fu mu nekk nii ku ci nekk léegi nga DS yi des nga toog fii ñu naan da nga ciy ci ubbi pare laa wax na ñoo wax Moussa Dieng is Moussa is 64 years old. Fu mu nekk nii.
No, why not? He still has some mileage left. Bu ko tell him.
Money.
So maybe in 10 years we can be looking at this situation much more closely.
Well, I'm not the other issue too, Banker. It's about tolerance level. For some of us, I mean, we don't really have that. Just like I would seldom go and tune into Fox News because I don't really want to hear what they're talking about. It's like, what in the world?
When they're about to call the elections. When I know that my candidate is winning, I want to hear them call it.
Exactly. I just see what their reaction would be. But under normal circumstances, and I think the Gambia, I mean, we're morphing into that. People really want to tune into, an outlet that they agree with. The Barrow folks would want to tune into Barrow entertainment. You want to let Barrow portray him in a light, saying the things that they want to hear. And I get that. That's the politics of it. The same thing with UDP platform. My man Jaite, you cannot say one thing without mentioning UDP. And that just cracked me up. How on earth can we come on a political platform and we do not mention United Democratic?
But the reality though is that, to me, the way I look at the most, it's more of a sign of, like you said, what we have in America here is exactly what is manifested in the Gambia. And that is we're a very polarized society. We just don't want to admit it. But we are very, very polarized. Politically, that is. Very, very, very polarized. And there is no middle ground here. In other words, you are either with us or against us. So if you are not fully NPP, well, you are against NPP. That's it. They see you as the other. If you are not UDP, you are against UDP. It's not even like you can even exercise independence here. If you are not this party, all the parties are practicing this kind of politics, where unless you join the party and call yourself a bona fide member, you are against. Or the other way you could do it is every day ngataga party, even if you are not. and say all the good things about the party and praise them and say all the things and defend them, then you are cool. I mean, they see you as you are Wakati. But in the end, if otherwise, if you don't join, you are against. And we shouldn't, our politics cannot be like that. And I blame all the leaders, but most importantly, I blame Adama Barrow. You see, if you are the president, Musa, if you are the president, you try to set the tone. That's what Donald Trump did to this country. He messed this country up because he didn't set the tone. Instead, well, he set a tone, but it's a tone of division, where literally he is going to other sides and saying these guys, the other ones are the bad guys. And so the country is very, very heavily divided thanks to him. But in the Gambia, Adama Barrow could be the champion of that cohesion. He could come in there and try to take actions that will show the Gambian people that his disagreement with Usainu, for instance, is just over policy and it's not personal. He could do the same thing with all political parties, so that the militants on all sides can begin, and Usainu Dabo should do the same thing, so that the militants begin to see each other as people who just have a difference in opinion. But this idea that if you are not, the moment you even support NPP, you are evil, you are bad, you are terrible, you are this, you are that. The moment you are UDP, you are this, you are that, you are terrible, you are that. I think this is very, very bad for our country. America can get away with that, but even America, as big as it is, it's not good for America. But the Gambia, as small as it is, cannot get away with it because it's a very small society, very close-knit society. I've seen back in the days during NCP, PPP days, when family members, literally people didn't go to each other's funeral over political issue differences. This is insane. And I see us heading that way. I honestly do, furthermore.
I think so too.
Did I consult?
Ready?
No, why guys, I just wanted to bring, I'm going to key Mr. Faal, Esa Faal's dad.
Right.
You know, passed away this Friday. He was, you see, one of those Gambians that the unsung heroes of that country. Because if you look at it, Musa, you look at when we just gained independence. One of the major issues that the PEP government had to deal with was the level of illiteracy in that country. And it rested on the shoulders of some young Gambians, the Mr. Faals and others, to take up that mantle to try to educate a nation. So definitely his loss is a big one. You know, he taught all over the place and was also a principal at one point more. Everyone said BCC. Now, is it BCC?
Oh, really?
BSTS.
Okay.
You know,
BCC
BCC law. Dañ ko daan ooyee naka la tudda school yi naka Mr. Faal. You know, he guided, and you can tell me those were the most underprivileged school naka students. They were challenged, you know, because BSTS for them was a problem. You know, but these are people who really did so much for country. Like those teachers, man, and they used to buy wow. They used to send them all over the country, Musa, to teach.
Yeah.
You know, under very horrible conditions. And definitely a person like Mr. Faal, who is Esa Faal's dad, you know, should be celebrated. His son, Alagi Faal, Alagi is Esa's younger brother. He's a childhood friend of mine. You know, we used to go to their house and all that. But definitely just wanted to bring that to the table to just extend our condolences to the family and to the whole nation for such a big loss. Definitely he left, just like you said here, Musa, Dambodiba, Lamin. You know, that's how we want to be remembered. You want to go and people will be like, oh my God, for the country. And definitely just extend our condolences to the Faal family and thank him immensely for everything that he had done for country. Musa.
No, Pasamba. Yeah, man, personally, like you, I guess, I don't really know him, but I've heard of him. And especially his relationship with BCC. people tend to forget. Banga Hamani School Bobol, where Gamtel is, that's where BCC used to be.
Really? Back in
yes. That was BCC right there.
That's interesting.
The idea was creating a secondary school for people within the Banjul area. I mean, and the way it was, you had BCC and then you had Crab Island. There are a lot of athletes that actually came from BCC. So people like, by Faal, of course, these are veteran educationists. They understood, educating Gambians, what it meant then, and what it still means for the development of our country. So without a doubt, it's a lost. And may his soul rest in peace. You're gonna call it. Without a doubt, definitely. Those are they're the veterans, they're the pioneers.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did well.
The thing about those books is that these are the unsung heroes of our country, and a lot of times
the local champions.
They are more than the local champions. There are local champions, and then you have the unsung heroes. These ones are way above the local champion stage, because what these folks have done is to really, when Gambia got its independence, especially in the rural country, rural areas, most people did not even believe in education. See, this is an untold story. Most past,
it took convincing.
Yes, deki kaw yi ni ñom kiang ak ñom jara going forward ak deka yoy bu ko dega people literally time in nawet when the rainy season comes, fathers will come and drag their kids out of the classroom and take them to the farm, telling the teacher, no, the farm is more important than this. I'm taking my kids. Oh, some of them don't even want to send their kids to school. So it was this by Faal's Esas Da and people like Njaga Seka. I mean, you will hear those names, the Njaga Sekas, and even Ajiyam Seka. Don't forget Ajiyam Seka of the deputy UDP leader. These were the people who went to the provinces, literally going home to home, begging parents to send their kids to school. Literally begging them, and sometimes they will even offer to make sure they look after them, make sure they give the parents all kinds of incentives, because most of these people, the value of education, and they literally went to the provinces to convince these to allow their kids to go to school, and it took a lot of push and pull. But these teachers, they will wait until dinner time when everything is quiet, when the family is dinner already and the place is quiet. They will quietly, in that darkness of the night, come to the pa and sit down with him and try to explain to him the value of education, why it's so important that, look, if you want to get out of this poverty and this suffering, it's important to get your kids to go to school. Please allow Lamin and Babukar and Sidi and Diu to go to school. And the girls, they didn't even consider that one. They didn't want the girls to go. They thought the girls were supposed to get, or whatever. Right. And these teachers, again, the Mbaifals, the Ajiyam Sekas, the Njaka Sekas, I can go through a lot of these teachers. You get Banjul, because of their virtue of being from the capital, they had access to education before many people in the rural areas. When they are begging these parents to allow their daughters to go to school. So that's why I'm saying these people, their story, I hope somebody among them or someone somewhere will sit down and truly research and write their gallantry, because they are heroes that unbelievable. What they did is unimaginable, because parents that don't believe in education at all, to convince those people that no, let Banka not go to the farm, but instead go to class, it was very, very, very difficult, but they pulled it off. They did it. Most people in these government offices now running the country, they got their education thanks to these people, honestly. So, these are our heroes. Because I know what they have done. These people really they are heroes by every definition. I just wanted to add that to it.
Well, thank you. I'm going to the school. Time we yen maki yena ham fu fu gaptel den wa ha lira Gis nga you remember box bar. I'm not classes you
wow, box bar.
Yeah, they were there too before guy moved to Bori Independence Stadium. I think that's where the school is. Right. Anyway, so have you gotten in touch with Papa yet, Banka?
Papa said, "Oh, actually, he's here. He's here."
Campaign manager. So,
oh yes, you better believe it. You better believe it.
I can tell you one thing there, but Banka has never supported a winning candidate ever.
Every time coach says this, it amazes me. Here's the supporter of Doi. A Doi supporter telling me.
Oh my God,
you know what? I have four of the candidates.
You're not going to
Thank you. Papa, don't listen to this guy. He's a Doi supporter. A Doi supporter cannot tell me that you always support a losing candidate. I mean, you know that's not fair.
Why, Papa, welcome to the For the People, by the People show. Papa, we're not hearing him, brother.
Papa, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I have him on mute. He has himself on mute. Papa, unmute yourself. Okay, good.
I did. I just did. I actually, yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Unfortunately, our services, online service is not the best here. So it's breaking a little bit. I said Halifa is my Suma Kelifala, so I'm not going there.
You better go there.
Halifa Suma Kelifala, so I am not going there.
Thank you
very much, Papa. But you
have your radio on though. You have something on. Do you have something on?
Are you talking to me?
Yes. Do you have your?
I think it's probably the fan. Is it the fan bothering you guys?
I can hear us. We are echoing again because you have your radio on or something. I mean,
no, there's no radio on.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no radio on.
Okay.
No, well, Papa,
it's just the phone speaker is probably what is echoing.
Okay.
So do you have the phone on speaker or something? I mean, like.
Yes, I did.
Maybe.
Do you have like an earpiece or? I don't know.
No, I don't have an earpiece. If you hold on, I can go look for an earpiece. You know, I'm.
No.
Let me go see if Say has earpiece.
Yeah, but Musa, maybe we have earpiece because we don't know how the listeners are hearing it too.
Yeah, try the earpiece and see.
Okay, let me give me a few minutes, okay? It's just around the corner.
Do you have two devices on, Papa?
No, the laptop is not. The laptop is right here, but I don't have it connected.
Okay. All right.
I honestly, I think it's the speaker from the phone.
Okay. All right.
Give me a few minutes, okay?
Okay, sure.
All right.
I will hide his thing.
So
yeah. I think it's a system, definitely. You know, see now we are not the point.
Mom.
Yeah. So
it was definitely
talking about the arrival of the dead body of the body of Honorable Lamin Dambudiba. Coach, you mentioned something that is so important to note, and that is, that's where I find hope as far as what tends to happen with us. In moments like this, when it really somebody gets hit hard by the sorrow, by some serious, sorrowful situation. That's when you realize the Gambians don't necessarily hate each other. I think we just like to bully each other, maybe, but we don't necessarily hate each other. There is no hate there. People could have their political disagreements and have nasty fights that are unfortunate, that personally I lamented here earlier, because I don't think we should be treating each other like that. But at the end of the day, when somebody really has a situation like what happened to Lamin Damudiba, that's when you realize, we are all just literally one family, one alleyway. What I said, we cannot get away with what Americans do. We just cannot. We are too close to each other for that to happen. If you look at Lamin Damudiba's case, you said Honorable Sanna was there, and so all the other political party leaders were there. Now, maybe, I don't think Adam Barrow was there, but he also issued a statement. And
he sent a delegation.
Okay.
So I saw Musa's guy, Omar, is now quite a Hawaii.
Omar
Debo Bifos was there. Omar. But we're talking about that, man. I saw Ahmad Ba's audio. Ahmad Ba, somebody needs to tell Ahmad Ba how to talk. Definitely, somebody who died and then that's a ridiculous statement. He's my guy, but that's my life. What was that? What was nice about? Just say all you have to say. He's a good guy and all these things, like he said. But don't music jump back to Kiboka, all that stuff. It's just silly. I'm serious, man.
I think Ngabanka kept using the word hate. I don't think that these people hate each other. I really don't. I don't think that it's about hate, but they kind of get carried away. And Ahmad Ba, it's not just even a question that he misspoke. Ahmad, because that statement is disgusting.
It is.
You have someone who passed away, someone who sacrificed his entire life. You guys had dealings before. So for you to try to basically politicize it, because that's exactly what he was trying to do. No one from the UDP is saying, nay, Barrow, whatever he did or did not do, that's why this guy died. No one said that. So for you to come and preempt and say, wow, what kind of BS is that?
Yeah.
Why are you even saying that? It's just horrible. How are you going to take someone's death and that somehow you think, nay, one can get political mileage out of it? Everybody knew that Barrow was part of the UDP, so I'm sure that Barrow had dealings with, Alaji Lamin Damudiba. We know that. But why do you have to say all that? Why do you have
it was just pathetic, definitely.
I'm not your hamne. You can try to exploit the politics of it, but there are instances that you don't have to really do that. Jaru coffee. That's coffee. Jaru.
There's no need for it.
So why are you gonna try to explain
it? It was
just a horrible statement for him to make. Really, I don't know what.
Because this was the same problem he had when Draman died, and he went to that funeral. A guy, I think somebody nearly wanted to, in fact, attack him there. You don't do that. These are very hard loss, man. Watching that video of Usainu crying, that just broke my heart, man. I'm serious. It's like, I don't know.
That's very moving. I saw that.
Yeah.
That was very moving.
It's unnecessary. Sometimes he gets carried away with this. Everything I have to politicize it. I want to make sure there is some kind of a political advantage. We can do it. When you talk like that, people are not gonna buy into that BS.
And that's not good, because there's a time and place for everything. At the end of the day, put all these other his stuff behind. It's a moment to reflect on who he was, what he represented, what life he led, the heroism, the fights, the sacrifice. I can go through the whole list. This is the moment he could have used the platform to really talk about the Lamin Dambo debate that he knew. This man, a good fight, was in this struggle with him, was on the forefront, on the front lines, risks his life, put everything on the line, for years sacrificed a lot for his country. What a patriot he was. I think that's what really that time could have been used for that, rather than sitting there, well, no one manako do nangam, and then trying to making it look like somebody is blaming Adama Barrow for his demands. That's insane, because this is not about this person killed leader. Now, could this government and I will say that again, could this government have done more for the victims? Absolutely, 100% yes. The government is not doing enough for the victims. But exactly, that guilt. If it is that guilt, that is why he's saying what he's saying. I'm telling you, there is a time and place for that too. You don't wait till a day and then you are sitting there trying to absolve this man. I don't think anybody can say anything for me that's going to convince me that enough has been done for these victims that went to Mile 2 or that suffered through this struggle. Because there are two sets of victims here. You have victims that literally Jammeh went after, or people who literally even were supporting Jammeh, were with him, and then they became a victim through that. And then you have victims who literally became victim by virtue of their fight in the struggle. These are two different victims. And when I say two different victims, in the sense that there is a lot that we owe to the ones that really got, like Lamudimba Dibas and many people who went to jail with Honorable Dabo, and their lives, Femi Peters and all these people who literally died because of what happened to them in Mile 2 through their fight. Oh, yes. Those people, I believe, right away, what should have done was to send them, all of them, to the best medical hospitals and get them the best medical services, and see what's going on in their bodies and give them the help. But even like I said, April 10th and 11 students, those, victims like that are the ones I'm talking about. April 10th and 11 students, what has been done for them, guys? Do you know of anything? I don't. These people literally, they are maimed for the rest of their lives and not enough has been done for them. Now, if that guilt is why he's talking, there's a time and place for that too. But at the end of the day, the man has died. Let's give him all the props, all the credit, and tell his story the way it needs to be told. And that is the heroism that he has exhibited throughout the struggle. He needs to stop talking in public maybe for a while and reflect. Seriously. Because, every time Ahmad opens his mouth, he says something that makes you scratch your head like, okay, help me out. I don't get this one. Honestly. It doesn't make sense.
No, it's crazy. Well, anyway, we have Papa back and then with the headphone now. Papa, I hope you're not muted. Are you? No, you're not. That's good. Welcome to the for the people by the people show again, Papa. You are now in the news, ready to, get your hands dirty in changing our country. You've been in the struggle for the liberation of the people. In fact, went through hell and back. See your comrades killed and all that. And I just want to really give you props. We've lost him. We've lost him. You've lost him.
I don't know. I'm trying to check on here why it's happening, but I can't see. I don't even think he's in.
I think it's Banker's fault.
No, it's happening on his end, because I'm checking on my end here to see what is going on. But
it's your fault.
No, Simon, for now, if I lose internet connection or something, I'm a Gambia Red Coach. You know what time it is. No, it's not.
Ndeysaan. Sol is saying Nogo Njai and Umi Jain, they had successful surgeries and returned. They were pretty much on the same flight today with Mr. Diba's corpse, because they had gone to Turkey for their treatments. So Umi yeah, Umi Jane was an April 10th, 11 victim, and Nogoy Njai, of course, you remember Nogoy. So, well.
So what about Sukai Dahaba and the rest? Have they gotten any medical help yet? I'm not aware of that. Have they?
Well, I'm not with them there, but I don't know whether they've. The Soul would provide us that information as well. But anyway, Papa, since the internet is not acting up because of Banca, we just want to welcome you to For the People by the People show and give you credit for at least going there and following your instinct, believing that you can definitely salvage our country. So welcome. Let me just let you go in with your opening remarks, and then Musa Jeng and then we'll be firing away the questions. So, yeah, Papa.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. My three heroes.
Don't because
I remember Banka and Pasamba and Musajang. We've been on this for a long time.
Correct.
In the 90s, Banka, I think I found some pictures of us demonstrating in the snow in Washington, D.C. I remember that, but I could not find the picture anywhere. I think somewhere it disappeared. But we've been doing this for a long time for our country, relentlessly.
Mm-hmm.
And I strongly believe that you guys have the Gambia's interest at our heart, no matter what it is. I can attest to that because I've been with you guys for a long time. There has never been an event that happened in the Gambia that you guys have not got up and spoken about it and perhaps demonstrate to make an awareness about that. So I thank you very much for those, for everything that you do for our country. They always say, it is always said that when good people sit by and watch, corruption and destruction and all the bad things happen, bad people will fill the void, and then you good people will be ruled by those who are inept. So we good people have to get up and really work for the Gambia. It is not going to be easy, and certainly it is not going to be transformed by outsiders. It has to be Gambians who will take the lead, and Gambians have to now realize that we cannot just trust anybody. We were just talking about Hamad Ba. He's been in the struggle, but we've seen what he's doing. It's unfortunate, but I think that our people deserve better. And like I said before, when I came back, I really did not anticipate joining in to do any fight. I've seen Son Benga here, and I do remember Son Benga sitting in my room saying, PPP, PPP. I had to get up and really do something to try to rescue PPP. The Congress, Pasamba, you were there. You've seen how that went. And it just didn't go right. When I see people struggling for power, while the layman is standing in the streets begging to have a meal on the table, that's a problem. That is really a problem, and we see that all the time. When I swear I saw a 4-year-old with his mom standing by the mosque begging. We shouldn't have that kind of things in our country. So for me, it is worth everything for me to jump in and see what I can do. And I have the support of my family, and I have the support of my wife, who is extremely strong. She's a remarkable woman. I have my family too here, and you guys know. She's a solid wife and woman to be able to give me the moment to be able to do what I need to do for the country. She loves this country, and all of you love this country, and it's high time that we change the direction. So I can go on and on and on, but I'll stop here.
Yeah. Yeah, Papa.
Yeah, well, yeah, go ahead, Musa.
No, Pastor, I'm got him. Definitely.
No, go ahead.
Papa, it's good to see you again, and welcome to the For the People, by the People. Clearly,
thank you, Mr. Jen.
When I saw your manifesto, I have to be honest, I was really impressed. I didn't really read it in detail. I glossed over it, but it was very, very impressive. And I know it came from the heart. And you did put some work into this. I also admire, what's the word again? Your audacity, because it is one thing, like you, we all have similar experiences, that if change is going to be brought to the Gambia, good people, and that they believe that there should be transformational change, you just don't sit on the margins. You throw yourself into it and do whatever you can to make a difference, and not only walk the walk, not talk the talk, but walk the walk. And I think you have done that. But Papa, I'm going to push a little bit. Most observers are going to look at your candidacy and they will say that this guy is not serious, because come December 5th, when the results are announced, it's not even going to make a difference. Fairly or unfairly, should that really stop someone from running for office? Maybe, maybe not, but you will have to convince our listeners. I saw your launching, if you want to call it that, and you are Team 2021. But I did not see a team, because for Gambians to take you seriously, they have to see that this is more about, it cannot be about a lone gunman, someone going out there and saying, hey, I'm going to come in and I'm going to win and I'm going to transform this country. I did not see that. What I saw was just Papa Faal. Yes, you have the support of your family, but couldn't you have the support of other people that are credible, that could come and help you? Nyungen push motobi. People do not see that. So it makes it difficult for people to take you seriously. What say you to that kind of argument?
Well, thank you for asking. I mentioned my wife because I know how difficult this decision was to get in. I had to have her consent. I did not just get up and ask for me to stand, ask myself to stand. I didn't decide it by myself. There were people who have been hammering behind me for a while now for me to work with them. That time I was working on the PPP's case. When the time came when really I saw the direction of the case, which I really think that perhaps might have been manipulated, and with everything that has been going on with PPP. This team, we call ourselves Team 2021, very strong people who love their country, some here, some in the diaspora. I think you have seen when we were doing the launching, I wasn't the only one on the stage. We choreographed it. There were others who are sitting in the audience side, but we have also others who have been sitting in the high table. It wasn't about me. Yes, I had to submit the paper, the document, and then let the world know what we have.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not doing this alone. We decided to go independent. We were
Mm-hmm.
going to form a party, but we decided against that because time and again I've seen, and that we all see, that people tend to ally with their parties rather than allying with the country.
Correct.
It is the party, whether we call it a party politics or party association, regardless of what the party leader or whether what vision they have for the country, they ally with the party rather than the country. So we decided that it is unfair for us to just get up and do the same thing. We own this thing. Team 21, like I said before, it was an exploratory team, and we had to. We still there, and we are we call ourselves Team 2021 because come 2021 we will win this election. And you know, I always say that I don't want to say their names in public, because the problem is there are some who I have to have their consent, and I haven't had that yet. You know, but the team is a strong team. I cannot do this by myself. This is not an individual endeavor. And the manifesto, as you can see, you didn't hear about us. Maybe you heard of us a little bit a couple months back or 3 months back. But we made sure that we had a solid program and a roadmap for the Gambian people before we get out. Because time and again, that's what we see. People form their party. They have the $1 million seed they paid. They go around, they get the 10,000 signatures, they come. They open their offices and then say, here is our political party. But if you ask them, what is your agenda? Show it to us. They say, we are working on it. I think that that is not serious. Because if you are having a political party, you have to already have a vision of where you're going to take this country. And for us, our team and I had to work together to get this product out, and we guarded it. Before we got out, our launching was not to launch the Team 2021, but it was to launch our manifesto. When we come out, we say, hey, look, we are out, and this is what we say we are going to do. And then we gave it out. So that is, to me, that is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Baba, I mean, I listened to you. I mean, like I said in my opening statement, I'm very impressed with your, manifesto. And I have to say that I've known you for a while. I mean, Musa Jen can easily walk into a polling booth and vote for you because I think that you're credible. I think you believe in what you believe in. And I have no doubt in my mind, Gambia would be better off under your leadership. But that's not the reality that we live in. And when you mentioned that you decided to go the independent route, I mean, cynics like me, we all know what it takes to put together a political party. Mm-hmm. If you want to be a national candidate and win presidency, whether it's in Sabak Sanjal, whether it's in Kudang, whether it's in Jimara, whether it is in Kayaf, I mean, you have to spread your tentacles. And the way to do that is to form a political party. It's difficult. It's hard work. But so is running for president. The easier route is to run under an independent candidacy. Bubuyomana, anybody can do it. And critics are saying that is why people that are not serious, they resort to that route, fairly or unfairly. I would want you to address that. But secondly, also, you're running under the legacy of Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara. And that's a heck of a legacy. Your grandfather, I would have thought you would fight tooth and nail within the PPP party emblem, do what you have to do, persuade the OJs, the players, fight it internally to become the candidate of the PPP. To me, that would have been a much more viable route. So fekkee ne yow da nga foog ne loolu sax was difficult, that you are better off going the independent route, then that reinforced the difficulty of you winning come 2021. What say you?
Well, to answer your question, the first question was that going independent. It's not serious people don't go independent. They form a political party. I think if I am not mistaken, that's your question that people are raising. I don't see the difference between a political party and an independent. It defines the whole. If you have a serious amount of people behind with you, it doesn't matter whether you're a political party or you're an independent, because a political party, let's say, it's a formalized one. You formalize your base. You have people following you. For an independent candidate, we do the same thing. We go out and then we knock on doors. We form our base. We have offices. True, we did not go around and get the 10,000 signatures, but we can get the 10,000 signatures. $1 million, $1 million. We're paying 1.5 million. Now, the difference is, you know that writing is not an easy thing. Not anybody can get up and produce 47 pages of documents.
Definitely.
Thoughtful documents, step by step. This is the vision that you have to put together. This is not a child work. You can draft and say, okay, I am going to do agriculture. This is what I'm going to do. You have one paragraph, and then you go to whatever. You do one paragraph, and then at the end of the day, you have 8 pages, and you pull it out and you say, hey, this is my manifesto. I call that not serious. You can have a political party, you pay $1 million, and you go and get your 10,000 signatures, and you have 1 million people behind you. That's okay. But what do you have to show for your country? That if I sit down, if I win, this is what I'm going to do. I don't think that is fair to say if you're an independent, you are not serious. If you're an independent and you have no agenda, then you're not serious. But if you're an independent and you produce an agenda that shows the world that this is where I want to take my country, and you go and talk to people about that and you hammer it out, you make them understand why, what is the reasoning behind the contents of that program, then I see why you would say that it is not a serious political mission. It's not an easy work. About the PPP, the PPP had a very difficult many years. 17 years, the PPP haven't had a Congress.
Right.
And you know, when I was back in the US, we were working really hard to put PPP on its feet.
Yes.
So when I came back here and I saw the state that the party was in, that was not the impression that we had, that all of us, especially who are in diaspora, that's not the impression that we have of the party. We thought that everything is honky-dory. But when I came and I did research, I spoke to people and I found out what was going on. I had to step in. That is the difference. That's where you hear all those arguments. We had to have the first lady involved. I mean, the former first lady involved, and then I had to have Sadauda involved. That's when he called up all of the party militants, Alaji Aya and the others, to come down and sit down and talk. When I hear that Alaji Aya is not in the country, or he's here but he's not doing anything, I think that was disingenuous, because the man was here. He was really wanting for the party to get up on its feet. 2018, to get to Congress was a very difficult process. Bibi Dabo came. I supported Bibi Dabo, and we all want Bibi Dabo to stand, because I feel that we all feel that Bibi Dabo is the one that could get the party on its feet, because OJ said he was not going to run. Had OJ wished to run, I think that it would have been a different question. We would have said, okay, you've been here, we will elect. But he said he wasn't going to stand. So who else going to stand? I chose to not stand, because I believe that Bibi Dabo was on the better position to get the party on its feet and get it working, so we can go back to work. See, so when we realized that this was a problem, when the vote was rigged, we ended up with Papa Njai, the person who came 2 months, and he was shoved in our face. We tried and tried and tried. It didn't go. It's just too many deceptions. You know, if you're working with people who will tell you one thing, and then you go and find out that they actually meant another, how can you work with that kind of person? If a team is really bent on protecting that little space that they have, we went to court. The court has been going on for 2 years. The GFA was formed with Bibi Dabo and the core, and a PPP was left alone. I had to fight for it, but then at the end of the day, there's just so much that you can do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
My witnesses, one of my witnesses ended up passing away, and you know, how much can we go waiting for a party that, you know, it has a legacy. I wish that the party came on its feet when Sarada was alive. That was my wish. But that didn't happen. So I have tried. The people who saw what the amount of work that we did, I think that it is without a doubt, I gave it my all.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to decide. At some point you have to decide.
No.
You know what? If they wanna play it that way, let them have it.
Man, I do respect that. I mean, I guess before Banker come in though, but I mean, Bibi formed a party. I just don't know why you supported him as a candidate. Why you couldn't just join Bibi? That would have been also another route. But again,
well,
you know,
Bibi, let me answer that question. I think that when Bibi and Co, they know that I did not, from the get-go, I made it clear to them that I am not. I think that we should wait until the court case is done before we go to set up a party. When they want to set up a party, that's fine. But I am not going to be part of that. And I made that clear. I wanted to stay and work on the court case.
Right.
See, for the PPP.
Yeah.
At this time, when Papa Njai left, you know, now the party, where is it? We have seen that they are stomping for NPP.
It looks like
the national president was at the State House when they were called there for a discussion, and then we see NPP leadership. I mean, in Yamina, stomping for NPP. You see, I think that we have to, if you have principles, you have to stand by that principles no matter what it is. If it means that. You know, the party is, I cannot keep fighting. But I think, Pastor, I don't know, with that fighting that that arguments that happened during the Congress between me and the others. I don't know if you've seen it. They were going to beat me up because I wanted things to be done the way it's supposed to.
I was there with Musa.
I was there. I witnessed everything.
You were there?
Yeah, I was there. Actually, we were the ones supposed to count the votes. We were the independent judges, Pastor Samba and myself. So we and again we sympathize with your rendition of things, because we even tried to convince both OJ and Keba Jalo that PPP is better off, and this was just our independent opinion with Bibi at the helm, because we thought he was the one with the gravitas, was well known, he was a big time politician, well known in the Gambia, and if PPP really wants to come back with ferocity, he was the. But again, that's water under the brick. Let me let my man here, the man that has all the questions, Banga.
Papa, don't mind this guy.
I answered all your questions.
No, you did.
But Papa, the guys who stole that election, they are right here sitting with you. These two right there. They are the ones
You should have told me, because I would have added their names as
the
defendants.
These two here rigged it. I was in the conversation. Musa said to court, look, leader Menko Jab and Jalini, right? You just and we hand it to whoever we want to hand it to. They were paid big bucks on that day. No, I'm just kidding. Listeners, I'm kidding. I'm just joking.
The vote counting, Banker, the vote counting, the counting of the votes was done right. But the process to the voting, we see delegate plantings. Constituencies that didn't have any delegates were all of a sudden having delegates, and there are some coming from Janjambure was filled with people from 6 people from Fonyi Bintankaranai, I think. And then we have people from Serakunda filling up some of these things. So this is what happened. And then at night you come down and giving people $3,000 so they can change their votes. That is not how. That is not democracy. Right. Democracy is not for sale.
Yeah, but Papa, I happen to be I would say have a conflict of interest here, because you are a personal friend. And I'm sure listeners know that. And you also happen to be somebody that I know very well. You are dedicated, determined, dependable. I mean, these are 3 characteristics that you embody. And I have to say I'm extremely, extremely proud of you, because I know a thing or two about that. You are rock solid, no doubt about it. I always tell people he is one person that you can always rely on. He's determined and he's dependent. When Papa says yes, he means yes. No joke about that. Now, looking at this, I'm sure you will appreciate the fact that if I say that the field is very, very crowded, Papa, very, very crowded, and it's only starting. We have a lot of players that have been in this territory for a long time, and then you have a lot of new entrants that are coming in. I mean, some of them, you literally, like you said, you have PPP on one side, you have GFA on another side, you have Papa Faal. That's all literally coming from the same background, if you will. So even within those 3 alone, there is a huge competition there. Not to mention all the others, the UDPs, the DOIs, the NPPs. I can go through the list. What's your road to victory, Papa? How do you think you're going to be able to pull these off? Because to an outsider looking in, somebody will look at this and go, what is Papa thinking? How does he think he can pull this off? What exactly is the end game? Tell us, how do you think, what's your path to victory here?
Thank you for asking that question, because it is not a difficult question to answer. I think I've already mentioned that a political party should have an agenda to offer to the people. I mean, I haven't seen. I mean, unless I miss it, I'm sure Pastor Doi probably have one that has been produced the last elections. But at this moment, I don't see any political party that actually produced a solid document, a roadmap for what Gambia needs to look like 10 years from now. I've seen GDC, Mama Kante, put up a website and put up a manifesto. I read it and I had to. I'm sorry, but it's just it is just a paper, a fluff, nothing. It's more of the same. You know. My thinking is that we have to go out and sell to the people what we feel, how we feel, how they feel, that to let them know that we feel what they're feeling, to relate to them. And if you look at our manifesto, we laid out concrete steps that we believe that come in the next 10 years, Gambia should look like this. I haven't seen it in any other political party. PPP didn't produce anything that is solid. I'm sorry for GFA, but GFA, I haven't seen their manifesto. The newcomers, I didn't see any. So what do they have to tell the Gambian people? I mean, it is easy to stand and criticize. We all know there is corruption. We all know that the economy is horrible. We know that people living standards, the quality of life is poor. We know that the purchasing power is extremely low. What you get for your money is nothing. Just today I was saying that if you have a $5,000 today, you can blow it in a matter of half a day, because you have few things and then all of a sudden you were in the thousands. So we are coming out with solutions, and we will go out and we will sell that solution to the people of the Gambia, and we will show them that there is a better way of doing things, and we will keep pushing that the political parties right now have nothing to offer you but more of the same. It is loans, it is grants, it is nice Pajeros for everybody, and then it is tinted vehicles, and it is bad roads, and you can put it over. You can just keep saying, just mounting it. That's all what they offer. Is listen, if the Gambia really want to move forward, we have to break away from this dependency of loans. And I mean, loans are good, but you gotta produce, you gotta put it in a place where it can be able to produce and replicate, just like a business. You don't take your capital and put it somewhere where you know that you're going to lose. You know, but that's what we see all the time, these mounting loans that are back-breaking. The Gambian people deserve better, and this is what we are going to sell to them. Come 2021, we will keep working, we will go crisscrossing the country, and then we will make sure that they understand that this is what we are offering them, a different solution to get the country out of this mess.
Now, so as far as every political party or even politician should have a base, a base that you can rely on, as what is Papa Faal's base?
Can you clarify that? What is Papa Faal's base?
Base meaning, like, let me put it.
Stronghold, political stronghold.
Yeah, yes, thank you. I'm glad Coach put it best. Your political stronghold. Every political party has that. They have, or even where is your stronghold? Is it Brikama or? I'm sorry. So go ahead. Mm-hmm.
We're just emerging. I mean, we just got out last week.
Mm-hmm.
We just got out last week. I think that if we start saying this is your base, this is your base, I think the whole entire Gambia should be our base. We should hit every single area and let the people know that this is what we are offering them. If we start saying Brikama is my base, then the people in Serekunda will be like, what? Okay, you're in Brikama, go get your vote in Brikama. You see what I'm saying? So our office is here in Brusubi, but we're going around. We're going around. Our base is the entire Gambia. Maybe that may sound really cliche,
actually,
but
I like that.
For me, I don't want to be. It's just like how I say what I was talking about with the political parties. Yeah. Why can't we say our base is the Gambia? We can go and try to help every single person out there. Sell our vision, our vision to every single person. You know. So that's what I will say. I don't want to marginalize.
Yeah. Look, I like that answer, if you will. I mean, I think it's a nice, neat political answer to say, look, my base is the whole entire Gambia. That's a very catchy statement, and I think you should use it because it really is cool. But now, I think I ran out my questions. I'll go to Coach, and then I'll come back.
Papa, we know that African politics is very different from maybe the politics that you've been used to for a very long time, even though the old pa is your granddad. But the politics that we know in the Gambia is the politics of Mbabas, the drumming, the dancing, the benedictions, and all that stuff. How prepared are you to match the political parties who are fully structured, extremely funded, especially parties like NPP, to be able to win those votes? What strategy do you have? What is your path to victory, to borrow from Musajen?
We will go door to door. We will go door to door. We will talk to people. We will sell our message. Contrary to the others, we have a message. We don't want to be doing sabar, as you say. Yes, we will do, wherever we go, obviously we will do entertainment, we'll do food, but then we will come with a message. A different message. Not that saying so-and-so political party is a failure. The leadership of so-and-so political party said this. The leader of so-and-so party says this. I think for me, that is distracting the electorate from the real issues. You know, so going out there and talking to them about their own issues. Listen, everybody is suffering in this country. If you don't know that, then you might not be, you are not living in the Gambia. We go down there and talk to them about how to solve this problem that we have. It's a serious problem that we have here in the Gambia. So I think that there is no difference. We always say, okay, the politics is different from the US. Yes, sure. The way you do things, the polling and the other ones, that is not necessarily applicable here. But I think that we all feel the same pain. The person who is hungry in the US knows that somebody who will come in and give him food will be the one he will vote for. And in the same, likewise in the Gambia, a hungry person here in the Gambia, somebody who comes in with a solution to help him, that's what he or she is going to vote for. So I think that if we stick to our messaging and be frank, not deceptive, the politics of deception is what is destroying our country right now. Saying one thing and you really don't mean it. And we hear that all the time, that you tell people what they want to hear when you're doing politics in campaign, but as soon as the vote is over, you do something else. I don't believe in that. I want to tell the Gambian people what we are going to do. And I'm going to tell them that you know, for real, the truth. The truth. That's all.
The truth.
I hope I answered that question for you.
Yes, you did, Papa. But there are people, and I've seen people throw that at you. You were a copist. You should not be running. And I think there was a story carried by the Standard, which you expressed no regret in participating in Ditari. How do you handle that? Because that would be coming from people who even celebrated you when you did that. But today you may be a political opponent, and that's where, you know what, this is something that we can use against him. And how do you feel when you hear that, especially from not APRC supporters, but from other supporters, knowing what you guys were trying to achieve, what led you to do it, the people that you lost, your livelihoods pretty much put on hold, especially if you were to live in the United States. You cannot have any meaningful employment or anything, all doing it to help liberate a country. What do you say to those people?
I say to them that, you know, see, everybody is entitled to their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This is their opinion. I tried to let them know, hey, the reason why we got up, was not a secret.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we left everything to come to Gambia was not a secret. This country, people were suffering. It wasn't about Yaya Jammeh, it was about the people of the Gambia. It was about our country. Our country belonged to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we don't fight for it, what value do we have? You know, everybody who has a skill and tools to be able to effect change, I think that it is best to be able to implement that tool, use that tool for the betterment of others. That is the reason why we got up. And there are, like I say, everybody praises. All political, I mean, you hear all the time, Rwanda is great, Rwanda is this. The President Kagame was was a rebel leader.
Yep.
Huh? And then I also point to Nelson Mandela, that everybody is celebrating, was considered a terrorist.
Yep.
Until 2005, he couldn't come to the United States. So these are not convenient things. It is not convenient to get up and fight for your country. To others, political agendas overshadow their thinking, I believe. But I say to them, that's their opinion, but that doesn't mean that they are right. So they are entitled to their opinion, but it is not. They are not entitled to the facts. So
thank you, Papa. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Papa.
Yes.
Thanks again. I mean, let's get to the what I would call the myth of, really, like we all kept saying that your manifesto is a hell of a manifesto, and it's true. And especially the area that you talk about, your 5 pledges. I mean, I think that definitely that was different, very clear. Can you can you tell our listeners those 5 pledges that I would call the pillars, really, the pillar of your manifesto? You talk about citizen orientation, the welfare of the citizens. You talk about combating and arresting corruption. Can you just kind of go through them? I mean, with clarity, don't get us into, just summarize those 5 pledges that you think would definitely change the development of this country if you were to become president.
Thank you for asking that question. I think that there's a lot of confusion about the content of this manifesto. If you read through it, you don't take your time to really understand it, you can misinterpret it. I think that it is a novel idea. We look at it, my team and I look at all these things. We decided that, 5 points that we can be able to initiate in the first 5 years to move forward and change the dynamic of the country lies within these 5 pillars. And these are the citizens' reorientation, as you said. The citizens' reorientation is a component that is very dear to my heart. The reason I said that is because just today I was hearing that 150 people, Gambians and Senegalese, were trying to cross the Mediterranean, and their boat sank. 100 people died. You see this over and over and over again, and we have to ask, why do people, our young people, want to risk everything to run away from their own country, just to get out wherever they will be, and they know the risk. They know that they may not arrive to their destination, and when they get there, they are not guaranteed anything, because they will probably be sitting at a camp. The little money that they will have as a stipend, they send that to their parents. This is a serious issue, and I think that when I hear the government saying that they are having a deal with Saudi Arabia and others so our people can go down there and work, I think that's a cheap solution to our problems. Is defecting our problems to some other country. If they're gone, then we don't have to worry about them. Come back to the country, we see a lot of indiscipline. Not because of it is their fault for the young people to be indisciplined. It's because there are no guidance. The government is busy filling their own pockets and talking cheap than really creating any meaningful avenue for survival or any advancement for the younger population. So I have seen in other countries that have national service, and the dedication that service actually instill in them, the discipline, the courage that it instills in them to be able to become better citizens and better individuals and better neighbors. So that is the idea behind citizens reorientation, is that if we focus on national service, and I'm not just saying you get out of the school and then go and do maybe teaching or work as a veterinarian or whichever. To me, that does not produce much. That is work ethics you experience. You have the same indiscipline. That's what you're going to go there with. And then you will do whatever you have to do for your service, and then you get out. But I know, being there, done that, that nothing, and I always advise, not only now, I've been always advising people that the tools that you get from service in the military is incompatible with any other tool that you can have. The life lessons that it will teach you is the best life lesson that you can carry on for the rest of your life. Our country is small. The 2016 incident, when the elections were rigged, and we're hearing that the economic is coming in, the borders, I mean, everybody headed to the Senegalese borders, and they were, running away from your country. And if the economic were an enemy, they would have just marched in and take over our country without any fighting. We have a small, our military is small. compared to our neighbors and all the other countries that are out there, we should be able to have the courage to defend our country.
Right.
This is what I think it is important, that we have implement a national service that will allow people to go into the military for 2 years national service, and then they convert to civilian. 6 months military training, hardcore military training. You learn how to defend yourself. You learn what it means to defend a country. Once you're done with that, you get your 6 months military training. Then what you are going to do is to go back and learn a trade. Today, we don't have doctors, qualified doctors. We don't have qualified nurses.
Right.
The other day I heard, I hear it all the time. People go to school, to the hospitals, and they tell you don't have blood. Or, that your body doesn't have any blood. Yo, amulo blood, amulo deret, sa deret beje, sa ndox beje, si sa yaram bi. What kind of thing is that? You go with a headache and they say malaria. You go with a stomach ache, it's malaria. Misdiagnosis after misdiagnosis after misdiagnosis. It doesn't make any sense. Our people will go to the hospitals and they will die giving birth. Isn't that enough? It is enough. So we say our road constructions, we have to get somebody outside from Senegal or somewhere else to come in and build our roads for us. Indians today, they are the ones that are building our roads. Chinese are the ones that are building our roads. We have the same brains. We are capable of doing that. Now, once upon a time, we're capable of doing that. Our civil engineering, we can build our civil engineering team here in the Gambia. So my thinking is, after your 6 months training, we go back, we take a portion of our university, because university is full of, honestly, I don't know, because I'm seeing people graduating from there, they only know the theory, no practical technology. They don't know what to do when you give them a server. They don't know, and they say they're engineers. You give them a computer to program, they don't know what to do. You give them a printer, they don't know what to set up. We have seen it. Now, this is not a lie. I have seen it. So you take university, and then you reduce the amount of enrollment in law and political science. You shift that to national service. You get these people, you train them to be doctors, you train them to be engineers, you train them to whatever we want, agri-technology, information technology. The government invest in our people. It is not a loss that the government will invest, because at the end of the day, when they go outside and work, they pay back the loan or the taxes through taxes. We can implement that they have to be here for 5 years. Not that we're not going to pay them, but the skills that we trained you will need to put it here in our country that the people need.
Yeah.
Our people, our young citizens will get out better citizens, well equipped to be able to work, to be able to compete in the global landscape.
Just because of time, because we're just about to get to the second interview. I mean, you talk about the orientation part, and then the second one was
the second part is the citizens welfare.
Citizens welfare. So
in the citizens welfare, I will go through that very quickly, and that is the basic need. The basic need is where we will help the people with their feeding, try to do things that will reduce the prices of basic commodities to help them. The healthcare, we created a scheme to be able to fund our own healthcare, where nobody will be denied service. We put up a scheme. Later on, if we have time, we will break those things down. Corruption, we have zero tolerance with corruption. You do time, you steal, you do time. We confiscate whatever you have, whatever you steal, your home, whatever. We have to be very hard on them. Then we have the computerization, which without computerization, corruption, we cannot tackle corruption. We will computerize, because we are in the 21st century. We have to be able to computerize our government. There is money. It is not that bad. We have to be able to do it. And then the last part, which is the taxes, and then civil service and public service reform. These are things that we know that we need right now. Streamlining the public service, making them nimble to be able to serve the people when they need it. Bloated civil service cannot move, and it's just waste. Cut the waste, cut the fat. That's what we are going to do. Yeah. I know it's fast, but people can be able to go to my website, our website, team2021.org, team2021.org. They can be able to download the copy of the manifesto there. A full copy, you can have it, you can read it, you will understand it. If you have a question, please send us a message and we will clarify for you. We're in this together.
Wow. No doubt. And to our listeners, they definitely need to look at your manifesto. I think there are a lot of important information. I mean, I like this commitment of the these 5 pillars that people should definitely look into. 5 and 5. I think it's something, like you said, a novel idea, and it's different. And I have to give you kudos, man. Very, very, very impressive. My only, again, and I respect your audacity. You're a good man. And like I said, if I were to walk into a polling booth, I wouldn't think twice about voting for someone like you. No doubt about that.
I think I have your vote already. Ooh, hurrah!
Yes.
You're a good man.
But
thank you.
Papa, you know, in my Ham and Ken voice, the 5-5-5 plan is what you have. So that 5-5-5 plan is simple, is direct, it's easy to remember. You have laid it all out, and you believe in it. And so the kind of commitment you have to that cause is commendable. I think I speak for my friends here when I say we are all very proud of you for having what we call the audacity of hope, and your willingness to step in the ring, and remind all of us that if you don't like what you are seeing, you have the option to step in and tell your story and fight for what you believe, which is exactly what you're doing. So for that, I mean, yes, we are so mighty proud of you for doing this. We don't lose. At the end of the day, it's about going in there and fighting for what you believe. That's what this is all about. And so in the end, whether at the polls you become the next president or not, you are a winner already, Papa, in our eyes.
Thank you.
And so keep it up.
Thank you.
We are very, very proud. We wish you the best of luck. And yes, so just keep it going. Keep it going, really.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you, Papa, for enriching our democracy, because this is a participatory process, and the more ideas we have out there, the more people are, because this is not politics as usual. Politicians are expected to raise their games based on the competition that they have. So you come with your 5 in 5. Chances are tomorrow the UDP might come with 7 in 7. Doi would come with, we have Gonga. I don't like coming here defending Doi, but we have Gonga, which articulates clearly what we are doing, and our agenda, transformative agenda for 2021 is coming out. But I think what you've done, definitely, you add to the conversation in elevating the discussion. Because at some point, pretty soon, Gambians will be forced to engage in politics of ideas and issues, and not politics of babas and all that. And ironically, Jawara's grandson is about to go, and Jawara's nephew is coming. So this is the Jawara Kunda Day today here on the For the People by the People. So
Johnson?
Johnson. Johnson is called
Faal.
Faal, Sanna.
Call him Johnson Faal.
Johnson Faal. Oh, I will remember.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Papa.
So very much. And greetings to say
I
and the
tell
family and
Gambians
everybody.
to approach this politics with open mind and look at Gambia. You know. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And we'll bring you back here because as the election gets closer, you'll be getting more politicians, and then you'll be flexing out all the ideas and manifestos. But thank you so very much, my brother.
Inshallah, I don't like to be called a politician, just to let you know.
Those who stand for public office are politicians, so get used to it.
Your name stands for politics at this point, so.
Papa Bobo kay bunu loko daw mom. Politician sapur sanga. Just like Gambia used to say.
Politician Politician.
You know, when the US started calling Patrice Lumumba communist, he laughs and he says, "How can I be a politician? I'm a nationalist." I mean, how can I be a communist? I'm a nationalist.
Brother.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Say hi to the family and the wife as well.
Thank you.
Will do. You do as well. Thanks.
All right, bro.
Right.
Yeah, thanks.
So, Sanna, I know you're watching. If you can just call in.
Sanna, let me tell him to come.
Jawara Diko. Do you know Lifini? Is it Jawara Diko or whatever? I love this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know where they come from. That's what they call. I think it's Jawara Diko. Is it? Listen.
I think Jawara Diko.
Money. Madam Fale Musa Jeng joge kaw.
Why mo la jëne ko PPP de bayil sa xel de mom mo la jëne ko PPP
la di baxna ci gaay Jawara yi la. No.
Okay, at Sanna, I will just
UDP nak sen internet connection bi duy baax nonu de so
I'm trying to get him to Sanna. Okay, he's seen my message, so I guess he's trying to come in now. Okay, yeah. All right. So, Coach, what do you make of the first interview before Sanna comes in?
Well, it was good. It was an introductory interview, and like I said, there will be time to scrutinize all these programs and policies because definitely we will bring parties here to tell us exactly why Gambians should vote for them. Anybody that is going to contest for elections, and there we'll compile all manifestos, and then you'll get pushback from people where because you see manifestos are just statement of intent pretty much as to what you want to do. But to me, I think he held his own, and I'm glad that he is trying to run. Like I said, Banka, we have to elevate the politics. If you believe in it, participate. Participate, definitely.
Well, I mean, I totally agree. I think that,
and look at Kex Pata. He avoided also until Sanna Jawara is coming. Now he is here trying to and spell my last name right. It's J-O-W, not J-A-W.
Hey, I've seen but it did spell it J-A-W, so I don't blame him for that. Now, but I think
I'm going to go BB Dabo. If you spell BB Dabo with an E, you have a problem with him. So UDP always has a problem with their internet. So let's hope Sanna will be able to make it.
Sanna he's actually trying to come in. I can see him trying to come in. He's not in yet because the video part is not in yet. But look, I think that in the end, for our people, whatever, if you don't like what is going on, this is an open field. By all means, throw your heart in the ring. That's what. If you can, go for it. Yeah. The more, the merrier. Sanna?
Oh, Sanna.
Yes,
Sanna
hello.
is here.
Yes. Can you just flip your phone. What are you using? A phone, right?
Yes, I'm using my phone right now. Yes.
Okay, flip it the other direction. I mean, like, what do we say? Landscape, not portrait.
Landscape.
Yeah.
Landscape this way.
Oh, okay. No, never mind.
No, I don't think I have that, facility.
Okay.
No, you have the facility on top of the phone.
No. Go.
If you pull down.
Can we go before we do service? This is Gambia. Whenever they give you, just take it across.
No, it's not about the service. On top of your phone, pull down your phone thing, or just put your finger on top, all the way on top, and pull it down. You will see.
I think I understand what you mean, but for some reason, I think I don't have that landscape. Well, is it portrait or landscape thing, on my phone? I don't have it. So
you're good. We see you very well.
You have it, but you have. I don't know. You don't know. That's what I thought.
Well, Sanna, welcome again to the For the People by the People show. We want to start by extending our sincere condolences to you and your party, the UDP, and to the whole nation for the loss of Mr. Lamin Dambung Diba, who was buried today. I know tomorrow you guys will start.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Tomorrow, you and your colleagues will openly start discussing the budget before the National Assembly. At least that's the expectation. I know you guys were working behind the scenes. And so we just want to throw some questions here about the budget. We've been looking at it. So I'll start. I was looking at the budget on the recurrent. And something caught my eye, and that is last year, the National Assembly approved $223,513,564 for food and food services. That was what was approved. This year, the approval is $267,039,828. And the reason why that, my light bulbs went on when I saw that was last year, just this year, because of the COVID, the Minister of Finance, Mabure Njai, had come to you guys, the National Assembly, to approve monies so that they can go and buy food for the people. So my question is, does this food and food services include, is it meant for that, or is it a different thing? I just want to understand. I don't know whether you see what I'm talking about. If you go to...
I don't know.
If you go to recurrent, you will see that. I think it's the expenditure, no, not the expenditure budget, but it's on recurrent expenditures. Right. And it would line with all the salaries, about 3 billion, and all that. So if you go to recurrent and development analysis, I think that's where it is, because I was looking at earlier and I saw that. So it's opening, but I saw it there. But I'm just wondering whether this food and food services, it's recurrent budget details by item. And it starts with compensation of employees, 4.9 billion. And then you go down the line. And if you go to the second page, the last line of the second page is food and food services. In 2019, it was 145 million. 2020, 232 million. And now 2021 estimate is 267 million. So I just want to know, how is this different from, was this exhausted before they came to you guys to ask for more money to be able to buy food that they distributed to the country?
All right, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, that was my question.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes,
thank you. I can see my phone. Very good. Okay. First of all, I did not have the budget right now here with me now because I didn't think that we were going to go into the detailed nitty-gritty, which is fine. I'm not saying that no, it's not good. No, I can always grab it. It's just not here with me where I'm sitting now because I'll go off the camera. But I just thought we are going to go look at the general overview of where we are headed.
We can do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do
we can
general
do that too.
overview.
But I think I understand fairly well, that you're talking about the recurrent budgets, and this particular budget line of food and food services. Is it for the office of the president? Because your line was not very clear.
No, it did not mention office of the president.
Is that what you mean?
No, it's not. It just says food and food services. And,
okay, this line is item, by item, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what that means is basically...
okay, what I'm going to do, Moy, because that's going to be unfair to put you on the spot for that. But no, I'll just go to something more general.
I understand very well what you're talking about, the itemized budget, itemized budget, I mean, not the entities, like the offices of. So in general, basically what the minister is proposing before us now is that they're estimating to spend on top of what was approved in the SAP. Another amount, which you are talking about here, although I don't have the figures here with me.
267.
So basically, what is 267 million on food and food services. So that combines all the government, from the office of the president down to the last budget entity. And so this is some of the things we have to look at and see where are these just pockets for the minister to put these funds in so that they can again along the budget execution process use some of the funds that are left in there to cater for some of the activities they want to do later on. Like, for example, we all understand that you can look at the budget now and see the minister is planning to spend $273 million on travel.
Yes.
Now, this is more than last year's travel allocation, but less than the year before. Now, but sometimes they do this just to make sure that people like us can look at this and say, okay, this is not bad. It's $273 million, better than the $350 million of 2019. However, what this budget allocation for food is 296. Fantastic. So what this means is very, very well. So what this will mean is the allocation for food and food services, even if it's not exhausted, they can always via from that location to the travel board and spend it on travel, which is not illegal. He can do that, as long as it's within 75% of the allocated funds. So what I want to say right now, and if we can go and look at these things, and see where they are justifiable or not. But what is more important than anything, I think, is the whole essence of the budget process. What I have observed during our bilaterals with all these line ministries, is that most of these budget allocations you are talking about today, even the permanent secretaries who are the vote controllers don't know how much money is they are allocated in these budget lines. They will look at their overall envelope and say, okay, for the Ministry of Youth and Sports, we have $113 million to spend. Now, they might not be happy with the travel vote, but what they know is at least they have funds in other pockets where, like I said, along the line during the course of the year, they might take funds from there and plug it into here so that they can be able to travel. And the unfortunate thing is the permanent secretary is not aware of these allocations into all these other furnitures and fittings, telecommunications, food and food services. They're not aware of them. What they know is that the overall is 113 million. So which means to me is that what is it that the Ministry of Youth and Sport has proposed to do in the next year to the Ministry of Finance to justify their programs, because you must have a development program. You must know that you want to build stadiums or a stadium. You must know you want to build certain toilets there. So definitely. So if in your development vote there is no money, but then there's money in the travel vote, Is that what you're expecting to use not to develop those stadia? Is that what, so when we had encounters now with these these ministers, none of the ministers, nor their permanent secretaries, were able to justify or even defend their budgets. They were just telling us this is news to us because we haven't even seen this budget. You see, so it means the Ministry of Finance is allocating funds for these ministers, but they don't know what the funds are for. But since they are there, they will spend the next year, 2021, to just go and spend them without achieving much because they have no goal, they have no vision, or their visions are not catered for. Something else is catered for, but since it's public money, and they feel like this is the job of the politicians, they just as technocrats, they just go and spend public money, without actually worrying too much about whether they meet their objectives or not. This is the sad part of the whole process. So I spoke to certain technicians who are not in government, who were ministers, former ministers, of finance, former directors of budgeting, former, directors of public economic planning, and they're telling us the whole process, since it is a sham, it just undermines the whole budget. And I'm not talking about Honorable Sanna here because I deliberately decided not to just leave him out to make sure that he doesn't influence my decision. I'm talking about people of other who were former ministers of finance under the Yahya Jammeh regime, and other respectable figures in our society who have very good understanding about budgeting. But they're telling me that Mr. Jawara, you are right. This whole process is a sham. And you'll be sad to see that this thing should pass.
It will be sad to see that these things pass. Like I was saying, this is a draft from the executive. If it is passed, it is the National Assembly that has pretty much given us a budget. Because without the National Assembly, it will not pass. Even though the Constitution says it has to be passed within 14 days, but you can also reject it, thereby forcing the government to get the money from the consolidated fund. Now, how do you guys make this balance? You look at a draft of which 8.96% of that money is for centralized services, which is about $1.99 billion. And you look at agriculture, which supposedly is the backbone of our economy. We're talking about, is it the Maputo Agreement? Is that what this is called? That talk about at least allocating 10% of your budget to agriculture. Last year, you guys approved over 2.5 billion for agriculture. 2.5 billion. This year's estimate is about $400+ million, which is 1.8% of the budget. How do you guys reconcile these two things? That's my thing. How do you make sure that the budget that is given to us is the people's budget? Because like you say in Wolof, what they give you is bebet, is their wish. The reality rests with you guys. How do you work to make sure that what we get is what we deserve? And why should anybody give centralized services trust fund over about $2 billion? Left to me, I would have given them no more than 100 billion.
Thank you, Pa. I think it's fair to say that the centralized service is one budget entity which for time and time again we have queried and I think the parliaments before us have also queried that it should be unpacked, and the ministers are responsible to tell us what is involved in these centralized services and it's like one of those things where you can see deliberately the sway, going from what these governments manifesto was coming into office, and all the blame games that they had for on imposing on Yahya Jammeh, and coming back to do the same thing, taking public resource funds and putting them into envelopes that for sure that there is no good, there's no justification. $1.9 billion is almost $2 billion is allocated for, is proposed for the centralized services. And tell me, just last year, we try to make, cut this, to less than, just over $1 billion, why the increase? All of a sudden, what is happening? What programs, or policies does this government have, over the course of the year to say that, you need, an increment, of about 50%, in that budget line. If it's not, to my suspicion, for political reasons, because this is one budget entity, which the minister have total control over and can use, as and wish, when he wishes, without any control. It's not, the Ministry of Tourism. It's not the Ministry of Agriculture. It's not the Ministry of Health. It's a centralized services, under the Ministry of Finance. So on top of, there are almost 1 point something billion, dollars, at the Ministry of Finance. They have another $1.99 billion, in the centralized services to use as and when, he thinks, is okay. So this, to me, is no way close to what they call fiscal discipline. No. So you cannot actually preach that, you are fiscally disciplined when, you are actually doing something like this. This is why, even though today, the Gambia is, celebrating this, gain, that we have had, in this, Millennium, Challenge Corporation, agency, financial report that, the Gambia is less corrupt, is about, it has scored 86% on corruption. No. One of the most important, about this, MCC, financial report, is about, budget, what they call, budget transparency. Our budget is not transparent to our donors. Of all this we're doing, they can actually tap on it, but as far as, the IMF is concerned, as far as, the world banks are concerned, this is something that's news to them. They are not seeing what the government is doing in their budget executions. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, I think that particular budget line has to be unpacked by this parliament and make sure that every single dollar that is there is justifiable, is justifiable defended by the minister before we can actually approve it.
Thank you very much. Musa is going to push back. Go ahead, Musa.
Why are you preempting me? Thank you very much, Sanna. It's always. It's always lovely to have you on our show. I am already been set up, but PJ, Mune, let me not ask you whether you're running for president or anything like that. So, now.
No. I'll leave. His name is Johnson Jawara. No, do you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right. He's Johnson Jawara. Yeah. But anyway, thank you, and I think I want to congratulate him, for his courage that he has mustered, to actually come, in this very difficult, public space, that we are all going through. But unlike him, I have a different plan. I am not.
You have a different plan. Yeah, that was Papa Faal.
Yeah.
Now I've listened to you very carefully, and I also. On Facebook, you had a posting, and your disappointment during this transition, at least our aspiration and the direction that we wanted to go. But I've listened to you. You made statements like, "This whole budget process is a sham," and that's kind of very telling. I mean, it's one thing to say that. I've never worked in government. Let me be clear about that. And I don't know much about government budgeting processes, but I've worked with budgets. Looking at a number or an expense line, one cannot just say, well, because of this expense lines in central services, I mean, this budget process is a sham. The budget of the Gambia is basically under the responsibility of the Ministry of Finance. We're going to bring them next week. The people that are actually put together the process.
Okay.
We're going to challenge them and we ask them these questions. Because again, you have to ask before you kind of go after. But again, let me come back to, you said the budget process is a sham. Now, the process did not start in 2021. In 2017, I think maybe you were in the National Assembly. 2018, you voted for it. 2019, you voted for it. 2020, you voted for it. The same process, which is supposedly a sham, Why is it different this time around? Or did the sham just start the process? Is it different now?
Thank you, Musa. No, it's a very good question, and I'm happy that Yes, I can hear you. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. No, thank you. Basically, what I mean by the whole process is a sham. Is basically if, like you said, you are not acquainted with government budgeting process. But the process is simple. Sometime around June, July, that's when the whole process will start. Basically, it can start earlier than that, depending on the laws of the country. But in our case, normally this will start in the later part of the year, in the second half of the year, where budget call circulars will be rolled out to all these budget entities. And when that happens, basically what that means is the minister is inviting proposals from these line ministries to consolidate their budgets. For example, if it's the Minister of Tourism, so the Ministry of Tourism will engage the NCAC, that's National Center for Arts and Culture, will engage the National Tourism and Hospitality Institute, and also engage Gambia Tourism Board. And then they will sit together and consolidate their budgets for the 2021.
Correct.
This is what the Ministry of Tourism will take will submit to the Ministry of Finance as their budget proposal. Normally, before they do that, they will also give them a ceiling to say, you cannot spend more than, let's say, $60 million. Okay. So there and then, the whole ministry and all these satellite institutions are under a very tight, budget line or budget space, where they can actually work on. So I'm saying, we have what we call the National Development Plan, and this National Development Plan is in the between 2018 to 2021. What they want to achieve is goal A, B, C, D, and E, and we have up to 47. Now, if let's say, for example, come to 2020, and now we are going into 2021, and you have not achieved your goals, you are so way far, and you are given a ceiling. Basically, what that means is your whole plan is going to fail. I don't know whether you were following me.
Yeah.
Okay, I will continue from here now. But basically, the point I'm trying to say is, okay, now the ministry is constrained to give so much, because they have a ceiling. Now they submit this ceiling, these figures to the Ministry of Finance. What happens is they are called to come for a bilateral, and at that bilateral, the ministry, the personnel from the Ministry of Finance and the personnel from the Ministry of Tourism will engage into what they call a negotiation. Cut here, paste here, do this, add this, reduce this, and eventually they agree to a sum. But what happens is they don't agree to a sum on every single budget line. What they agree to, okay, we will give you now 67 million. Okay, and okay, fine. They're happy, they go. Now this 67 million now, at the discretion of the people at the Ministry of Finance, would actually start putting this, like what coach was asking on the food and food services. They will put for you $4 million. On the travel allowances, they will put for you $4 million. On this, they will put so much $1 million. So, but your development plans that you think will empower the kids, because you are or will empower the industry because it's Ministry of Tourism, and we're talking about cultural development now, product mapping here. The GTHI, the kids they are not going to school because they don't have an adequate kitchen facility to be able to train them on. So all those things will be secondary now. So for the next 1 year, 12 months, these kids are limited to what they can learn and get qualifications to become sellable products into the industry as cooks, as chefs, as waiters, as housekeeping, or whatever training they are going under. So this is what I'm saying. So if you look at what we want to do as a country, and you look at the way we do our budgeting, they are not communicating. And 9 out of 10, when this thing is done, the budget that I think Coach Sanna Jawara has a copy, and the budget that I have here, we have it as parliamentarians. But none of the ministries have it. Not the minister, not the permanent secretary. They don't have a copy of this budget. So they come in before Parliament to come and defend a budget that they have no idea, what is in their budget lines. So how can you go and say, you know what you're doing?
But
so this process is what I'm saying that is, yeah.
But when I listen to even your explanation of the process, that the Ministry of Finance clearly, I mean, this belongs to them. In other words, they're the ones that are ruling it out. They're communicating with individual ministries. Even, I mean, I've worked with budgets before, and what we do is pretty much in line with what we just explained. You will roll out department heads. They can have their expectation because we're having limited resources. It's not like we have all the money in the world and whatever program you want, it's going to be included. Now, you can request and say, I want to see A, B, C, D, E, F. But the Ministry of Finance are the ones looking at the bigger picture. And my second question is, whatever you call a budget, it's a political process. Elections have consequences. We voted for President Abraham Barrow for the next 5 years. He has his programs and his beliefs, and he wants to use the budgetary process to achieve them, rightly or wrongly.
Can you repeat that again, because it's breaking. Your question is breaking. It's breaking.
No, I said the budget process is also a political process. Elections have consequences. We elected a president that has programs and policies that they want to see to be implemented.
Hello, Musa. Musa, if you don't mind, if you can hear me, can you just come back a little bit, because I lost you for the past 1 minute or so.
Oh,
I
really?
wasn't hearing, it was going on. Yeah. Sorry. So can you just go back just a few? The last time I heard what you saying was that the Ministry of Finance is the custodian of the whole process. That's the last part I understand you were saying.
Okay, no, because I understand you were saying that you spoke to some of the people from permanent sec from different ministries, and they were not able to, I guess they did not understand where some of these numbers were coming from. Is that what you were saying? I don't think he's here.
Yes.
Sanna, can you hear me,
I can hear you now. No, yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. My question is, coming back to your statement as this budgetary process is a sham, but then you kind of explain that the budget starts from the Ministry of Finance, and they get in touch to different departments. They'll even sit down and reconcile in terms of their allocation. Now, they're not going to get everything that they want. But at the end of the day, though, the budget process, even though it's about this is how much money we expect to get as far as the government is concerned, and this is how much we are going to spend different departments. But again, it is a political process. Do you agree that the political process, meaning elections have consequences? Adam Barrow was elected for 5 years, and he would want to see his programs and policies to be implemented through the National Assembly. Or do you disagree that it should not reflect his wishes or his policies? I don't know whether, I'm coming.
His line. Yeah, I think, but it's good. At least he's gonna go in and out, out and in, if you will. So hopefully that's gonna help. Yeah. Okay, Sanna is coming back in again. Okay, let's try to see whether. Sanna, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you now. I'm back.
Sanna. Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, very good.
Go ahead. You had Sanna's question, isn't it? Musa's question.
Yes, I had Musa's questions. I was going to answer to
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Musa, thank you. Yes, you are right. I think he's on the phone, but it's okay. Basically, what it is every president, or prime minister comes with your own policy, because that's what you can sell, as a manifesto to the people, to be able to sell your plans for them not for them to be in return or vote for you. So yes, every president or every administration or every 5 years has a mandate or has policies that they implemented so that they can also have a chance for re-election. Now, these are normally translated into what we call agendas, like the development plan, the national development plan. That's why it is there, it's done. Now, what I'm saying to you is if your national development plan that you promise to actually deliver, that within the next 3 years, I want to do I want to achieve A, B, and C and D goals, or 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5 goals. But your budget is not translating to those goals. So as representative of the people, and again, to look at the bigger interests of the people, our job is to make sure that you toe that line. Our job is not to defend you either way, whether you are job is to make sure that the interest of the people is defended, because both the executive
Hello, Sanna. Sanna.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah,
can you hear me? I had a call interrupted.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We thought it was the UDP internet again, but go ahead.
I don't even know whether he can hear you. Yeah.
No, he cannot hear us.
Yeah. Maybe what we can do.
Pata is calling, giving him talking points. So.
No, but we can. Let me tell him. We can call him. Let him do this through audio, not video.
Yeah, maybe it's better.
Because we don't have that much time left anyway. So.
Yeah, because otherwise we're going to be struggling with this. Hold on.
Patade mom pasamba is going back and forth, man.
Yeah, Monesa Lifenbi, so your cup.
Hello, Sanna.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Maybe we just want to do this through audio and not video anymore, since it looks like
that's fine. That's fine. I think because is the networks here in the evenings are.
We understand. We understand. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I was trying to say, Musa, is this: that both the president and the parliamentarians are servants of the people, and the president's wishes sometimes can be away from what his intentions were coming into office, and it is our job to make sure that the people have it their way. It's either the president toes the line as promised in his campaign manifesto, or failing which, if he wants to just go about and do whatever he desires with his cabinet or his executive, we parliamentarians as the representative of the people will say no, we're not going to approve this budget. This is why in America during Obama's time, whether political or not, the Republicans decided not to pass his budget, and therefore there was a government shutdown for some time. So the point I'm trying to say here is this: we are not against any good that is going to benefit the people, but if you bring us a budget which is over almost 80% of it, or over 80% of it is all on recurrent. There's no development for the people. There's not going to be better healthcare. There's not going to be better education for the kids. The police are not going to have a good salary. They will still not be on the streets, actually asking for handouts every time somebody drives past. If there is going to be how would I put it, better electricity, or more steady electricity, we as representative of the people have every duty to stand there and say no to these things. We are spending $31 billion, and guess what? We are just going to build roads, and these roads, we want them, but we have so many other ways of funding for these roads, like the other roads that Yaya Jammeh has been building. The Lamenkoto Pasamas road is built. The Sukuda Jambanjeli road is built. All these coastal roads were built, but from grants and loans that are long term, not depending on the GLF. You have no money to even pay for good medication, good doctors. Yet you want to spend that all that money on paying for Banjul project and Hakalam project, over $1 billion of our money, going into that every year for the next 6 years. And you want us to not pass that budget, without questions asked. So, I mean, you tell me, you have healthcare, you have education, you have environment, you have tourism, you have energy, you have all other entities. But no, you said, okay, let's pass this budget because this is what the president wishes. And this wishes, whether I or not, because they suit his political ambition, we should let him have it. I'm afraid, politicians are coming and going to serve you, the people. And we should not allow the people to be robbed just because we want to stay in power. No, that's not good.
Well, let me push back a little bit.
So the point I'm trying to say is, both myself, in my strongest beliefs, and those people I have engaged, who are experts in this field, all believe that Gambia could do better.
Yeah. So can you hear me, Sanna?
You're still in. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to push back a little bit. I mean, in my question, I did say that elections do have consequences. And I hear you talk about they should pass a budget that is in the benefit of the people. Because for me, that sounds very subjective. Who decides what is in the benefit of the people? I mean, different politicians would tell you, hold on, different politicians would tell you what they perceive to be what is in the benefit of the people. Let's look at the infrastructure. Yeah. There are roads that are going to be constructed, infrastructural development in the rural areas, whether it's in URR or CRR, whether it's in Western Division or even in Banjul itself. One politician can see that we cannot build a viable economy without having this infrastructural development. It's the foundation. If you want to do anything, it's going to facilitate businesses and the economy in general. One can make that argument. You're telling me that, well, maybe the resources are better to put it in healthcare or in education. But you are not the one who is elected. It is not your policies or your programs. You are representing Upper Florida. President Barrow is the president of the country, and he has his policies that he wants to see implemented. No, listen to me now. Whether you agree with him or not.
I'm very much listening now. I'm very much. Take your time.
Whether you agree with him or not, it's his policies, and these are his programs. Now, you can disagree, but you cannot dictate to him where he should spend it. And the idea that we are better off relying on, and I see you guys criticize the whole idea of getting loans to invest. Now they are saying we're not getting loans. We're getting from ourselves, our own money, our own budget, from our own tax base for this infrastructural development. You still have a problem with it. You think we are better off getting loans. Can you clarify that? In other words, again, these are his policies. We can agree and disagree. Maybe I don't like them. Maybe you don't like them. But they're his policies. He decides where he wants it to spend. You have your vote. Now, you voted for it in 2017, 2018, 2019. Obviously, you are drawing the line in 2020. I don't know why. Can you help our listeners?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much again, Musa. Section 152 of the Constitution says categorically clear that once a budget is laid before the National Assembly, whether I like it or not, it has to pass within 2 weeks. I have no choice to pass, but to pass it. What I can do is to change it, amend it before passing it, or pass it as it came. But what is why the whole process of scrutinizing the budget? If I told what the president what the president thinks is right, then why should I bother? But it's done for a reason, and the reason is to have value for money for the people. And I am not a National Assembly member for Upper Florida West alone. I'm a National Assembly member for the whole Gambia when it comes to the national issues. This is why I'm not calling whatever member. I'm called National Assembly member. National. I come. We in our job entails not only the representation of Upper Florida West, but also to actually enact laws and scrutinize the government for national interest. So the point I'm trying to make here, Musa, like you said, you maybe, I think, budgeting is not your niche, but any financier or any person in the economic world will tell you simple that you don't spend all your money on something, on one thing, if you have other needs too, that are of enormous importance. Now, we can be making $13 billion, which is all we can make. Now, this year, we are going to make, this year we are going to make, yes, $13 billion, in revenue, tax and non-tax. And the donor partners will give us another $12.01 billion. That makes it $25 billion. We are not able to build these roads from that money. So we went on to borrow, because we want to build roads. We want to borrow $6 billion to build these roads. And this was decided since last year. Okay? So, because if at all we can do everything we can, within this 25 billion, we will not have need to borrow. But no, we want to do other projects that is going to give us political mileage. So we thought, let's go and borrow. And this borrowing, Musa, a good 50% of it is local. Straining the local, the domestic need for financing for the private sector. But the government is going to take a good part of it, and the banks will turn into become armchair banks. They'll just sit back and relax and enjoy their profits, because central bank is going to pay their T-bills and other short-term bonds. So the point I am making as a politician to you is, when the president came, he promised that he's going to stop these lavish expenditures and cut budget deficits to zero. This is what their manifesto is there now. With him and the Halifa Salahs and the Senator was in prison then, but the UDP representatives, the Ahmad Baz, they were all together, and their coalition manifesto is Yahya Jammeh is borrowing and borrowing and borrowing beyond our means. When we come into government, we are going to cut this because it's unsustainable. Now, when we came in, we went to the round table dinner conference and said we want to build 400 kilometers of roads in the Gambia, and that is going to build almost every road in the Gambia here, almost every road. And this is not about feeder roads; this is about tar roads, 400 kilometers. This is why, of all the pledges of $1.7 billion, $876 billion was all for roads. More than 50% of the pledges are just going for roads. And the Minister of Works was over the moon that his ministry is the most finance of all the ministries now in this coalition administration, because the International Development Bank, the Islamic Development Bank, they pledged $500 million just to build roads. And I tell you what, this is 50% grant and 50% loan, and these loans are consensual. They will give us 10 years grace period where we are not paying a dime. So all these revenues of 13 billion that we are getting here now will go into other areas of like health, education, security, tourism. We will be developing this 500 million that we are paying for the Hakalan Road, and this 400 million a year to Banjul. We will be using that to develop other sectors while we still have these roads. Badia, that's the Arab bank for Africa. They also pledged $200 million for roads. And IFAD is the international fund for agricultural development, because they said when these roads are built, they're going to impact have positive impact on agriculture. So we also pledged $176 million. So you see, the Ministry of Works has so much money, they don't know what to do with it when it comes to roads. And these are roads that can be built today. But I'm telling you, before we start even thinking about paying the first installment in 10 years later, we would have gained so much economic improvement in those areas. They will be able to pay for these loans without anybody flicking a finger.
Correct.
But no, we failed to secure those funds. So now what do we resort to? It's election year. We said, let's go on GLF now. Let me just land, please, if you don't mind. Let me go on the GLF and then take monies that we cannot afford, borrow in the name of our kids, just so that I can start these road projects. And these road projects are not finishing this year. They're not finishing next year. They might take 4 and 5 and 6 years before they are finished. And but what's happening is we have paid for it now upfront. But no, we have no good healthcare. We have no good education. The police are still not struggling. The nurses are still struggling. The teachers are still struggling. No, Musa, we have to think, you don't have not that all the money in your pocket now. You have to spend now on things that you don't need. So anyway, let me stop now from there because
I do respect that, and I do respect that. Let me just make a couple of clarifications based on what you said, and then some other people are talking about whether National Assembly, their role is not to scrutinize. Absolutely no doubt about that. I think you're right on point. You're supposed to scrutinize, and I didn't mean that being just Upper Fuladu West, all you care about is Upper Fuladu. That's not what I'm saying at all. The point that I was trying to make is elections do have consequences, and these are his policies and programs. And that's all I'm saying. And as far as budget is concerned, I mean, I'm a financial controller in my own right. I have developed budgets, and I know how the budget process works. Now, what I meant was, I have never worked in government, and I don't know how the process, but listening to you, I don't think it's any different. Coming back to the issue that I'm raising is, you're basically saying, as far as infrastructure is concerned, this was really something you guys agreed upon. 400 kilometers of roads to be built. Where you have a problem with, we are not able to secure these loans for whatever reason. Maybe because of the government abandoned the very aspiration or what was agreed upon during the NDP meeting. I don't know. Funding wasn't there. So you're saying basically they decided to go local to do it. And that's where you have the problem with. In other words, the funding, where the money is coming. Instead of loans and grants, they're relying on a small economy to pursue these loans and then to pursue these infrastructural development that you believe are politically motivated. And I do respect that. I mean, I can understand that maybe you don't want to vote for it for that reason and that reason alone. And I do understand that. But again, I am not questioning whether you guys should scrutinize the 2021 budget.
Time.
Sorry?
Time.
All right, you will have your time to ask your questions the way you want to ask them.
No, because you are clarifying. I'm just looking at the time. We have about 12 more minutes to go. Tebaka lache good question on me, plus preamble of this. So,
preamble. You have to at least put in 10 minutes for preamble, then 5 minutes for the question, and then 10 more minutes for all the other additional. Exactly. No, but I have to. Unfortunately, I'll have to get out of here in 10 minutes. I have a dinner to attend.
Go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
We have just 10 more minutes to go, so I'll make this really quick. Sanna, Honorable, thank you very much for joining us. It was always a pleasure to have you. Because you are a straight shooter. I do believe you tell it like you see it. But what I wanted to say, Sanna is saying, are you still there? Is she still? Sanna, are you here? Oh, okay. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hello.
Hello. Yes. Yeah. Hello, Banka. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're out of time, so I will make this quick, really quick, because we have only 10 more minutes to go. So, Honorable Sanna, let me say that I totally agree with you, because the concerns you have raised, I've listened to you for a while, and the issues that you have raised are very valid. Because for me, when I look at our budgets, because I have an MBA, but I'm not like a financial whatever, trained guy, if you will. So, but I have an eye for figures somewhat. I can recognize stuff. Now, when I look at our budgets, I don't know whether it's because, again, I am ignorant about these things. I don't get it, because I would think that the budgetary process should be guided by what I call return on investment. That is, you know, government should run like a business. It has to, because if it doesn't, you know, what's the whole point? You literally, you collect your taxes, you invest it in areas where it's going to bring people the an added value to their lives and all that, and you know, in the form of return on investment. But unfortunately, I don't know whether that's the way the process works, because when I look at this budget, and Coach, the one that you sent me, I went through it. All I was seeing there are salaries. Salary for this, salary, and then big bulking number at the bottom, and I'm like, okay, where are the projects? What are they going to do? I mean, what exactly? Because for me, the budgetary process should be one where all the players will bring, like Musa rightly said, bring their wish lists and say, this is what the projects, these are the projects we have in mind. This is what we intend to do, and this is what it will the value they will bring to the country, and then they stipulate all the needs and desires and numbers, and then the finance guys will trade and horse trade. And here I see that happening with the U.S. lawmakers, and that's where my question comes, because here the budgetary process in the U.S. it literally is a negotiation between Republicans and Democrats. It's not like the president just sits there, sends something to Congress, and yay or nay. No, they literally, the Republicans and the Democrats, with the president's representatives, like, you know, he's right now we have Mnuchin who does that for the on behalf of the president, where they will sit with both chambers, and then they will negotiate. Yeah, so I'm coming. That's where but I would first have to tell him exactly where I'm heading with this.
Go ahead.
Yes, they will sit down and literally negotiate. Even the language, they will debate. They will negotiate over it. Should it say, okay, the president can be able to use this money for other areas, or should it say he cannot? This one should be strictly for this issue or for that issue. They will literally negotiate even the language. In the Gambia, what you are saying is that the Ministry of Finance sends this thing, which is basically from the executive, and says, this is our budget. And you all as lawmakers, what is your role in this? Do you literally scrutinize it, sit down and negotiate as a body and say, this is what we can support, we will not support this, take this out, or instead of 20 million, we have done our own research. We found out this should have cost maybe 10 million. I mean, you see my point. In other words, and even the language, how the money can be, like we saw during the COVID, they were pulling money from different departments and using it for and there was a huge debate about it. Well, you know, even to have a discussion and then say, no, this one here you cannot touch. This one we don't care what happens. You can. Do you guys have those kinds of powers? Is the law written like that? Or this is just a, take or leave kind of scenario, or you have to vote for it, whether you like it or not? Tell me, clarify that for us, please.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, even what we are doing here today, on this platform, is all part of the process. I am, as much as I'm defending my position, I think this is also giving me opportunity to hear from people like Musa with a different view, and it's all part of information that I can work with to make sure that I make better judgment on my deliberation on the budget. And the whole budget process is all negotiations. So we are not actually drawing the line to say yes, it's either this or that. No. Basically, what we are doing here is we are negotiating and setting consensus or variables to say that that the money you are spending on this particular area is not sustainable, and the money you are trying to borrow is also not sustainable, because if you go into a certain red line, or your budget deficit is not at a certain ratio to your GDP, you are classified as bankrupt or banana republic. So at this rate we are going, the coalition we are telling us that they want a budget that is sustainable. But are we sustainable? So this is what we are doing here.
Okay, so not to interrupt you. I'm sorry about that, but because we are out of time. I guess my question was, you as the UDP, for instance, and let me make it more clear. You as the UDP, as an entity, just like Republicans here, or Democrats for that matter, does your party, the leader of your party in parliament, not you say Honorable Dabo, but I'm talking about the leader of your party in parliament, does he convene in a meeting with you guys and say, okay, guys, let's scrutinize this budget and let's go in as a party. What are our values? What are the issues that we want to fight for? What are the areas that we want to focus on? And then going to the executive and say, we want to sit down and negotiate on this so that this budget here reflects what we think it needs to. Otherwise, we are just not going to vote for it. Because that's what you see here in the US, where Republicans will literally sit down and negotiate these things. If the executive, for instance, Democratic president says no, you probably will have the entire Republican Party saying, we are not voting for it. And then they will literally vote against it. Is that, are you guys doing something like that? Or
Yes, we do that, even though it is not very customary, if you like, because we're trying to shy away from the point of, like you said, in England, in Ghana, in Kenya, and all these other countries, you can see, lines drawn between, the Republicans and the Democrats, or the Labour or the Conservatives, on such issues. You can see that, I mean, you fight your corner and they fight their corner, and but you, at the end of the day, you have to actually, follow the law and pass these things, eventually, by agreeing on something. So we also do that. Our party, time and time again, we will have what we call a caucus. And this caucus is we will actually that's where we will say our party policy or philosophy on these issues is this, and let's look at critically without any political cap, and see whether this is actually in line with this philosophy. If it's not in line with this philosophy, then our position is clear. We have to actually go against it. But if it's in line with our policy, let's look at how we can even make it better, because we don't have to be against each other every time, because we are not in the same political party. But on issues like this budget, I try to do that without my party, and so far my party has not had any caucus yet. We have not had any opportunity to meet to actually discuss this budget, because everybody is trying to look at this from a nationalistic point of view. Is this what the nation is yearning for? Is this good for the country? Is this one? So myself and my colleagues engaging other people outside our party to make sure that we are not influenced by politics. And there's nothing wrong if at all I took the other route, like you said. Even in the more mature democracies, people sometimes would defend issues on political line, because especially in America, it's very common sense. The Obamacare, it was defended on political lines, even though they thought most of the people in the Republicans believe that it was good for country. But we are against it because the party decided not to support it. So in the Gambia, in our case, we are not very strong on that. Our party is flexible to allow its members to go out and deliberate on issues, using their conscience, and also and
I hope that someday you all will start to really think and act like that, because sometimes this is about principle. Budgetary measures are more of a principle matter, not like Musa rightly said. I totally agree with Musa.
1 minute till 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. Musa said that this is something
it's political.
It's a political process. Every side can literally justify their position on these things, even on this on spending. People can justify spending. I mean, and it will make sense. We can disagree on it, but it is what it is. So in the end, it becomes more about principle than like philosophical differences. Whether you guys like deficit spending or you don't, whether you like. Absolutely. Whether you want money.
What I want to say is, when we had this bilateral with all these sectors, the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Youth and Sports, that I am, member of the committees. They all have very good reasons to why we should leave their defense, their budgets, the way they are. And I empathize with them, and I empathize with the Ministry of Finance, because they have a very difficult task, in the sense that all these ministries are coming there, biting on your head, trying to say, no, don't touch this, please, because I'm going to suffer and I'm going to struggle. My guys are suffering. The prisoners in the prison, they only allocated $5 per day for their whole meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, so the Minister of Interior, has a job to go and defend that, to say, come on, I mean, this is 1980s budget allocation. In this day and age, you cannot actually per prisoner give them $5. I mean, they are human beings. Okay, I understand, but I also understand the poor Gambian taxpayers who have to, because of these humongous amounts of money that government is demanding, that they have to keep on paying higher taxes, higher cost of food, less development, because everything is about maintaining government. So I'm looking at my voters. I'm looking at about the Gambian people who we represent in government, in parliament, and say, why do I have to put those people in this mess? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the government. People who are not working in government have no enjoyment. They're not going to be allocating cars or fuel coupons or travel votes. They will be sitting in their homes, and every day they go to the market. The cost of rice is not getting any cheaper. The cost of onions is not getting any cheaper. The cost of bread is not getting any cheaper. The school fees for the kids are not getting any cheaper because the taxes are hiking and hiking and hiking on import duty. Because we have to borrow money and try to get money by doing only that. So I'm asking myself, as the representative of the people, what is my role? Do I allow government to just come and give me any amount and I just approve it and they go because they have an agenda? Or do I actually look at there and see that it's value for money? And to my honest, looking at the history, that when we came in government, we had revised the budget that was $19 billion expenditure down to $13 billion, just 4 years ago. $13 billion is all what we were spending. Today we are spending $31 billion. And what has changed? What developments are you calling that you have done in these 4 years that you said you deserve to spend $31 billion? What? I don't know about you guys, but we live in the Gambia here. The electricity issue is the same as it was 4 years ago. The cost of living is higher today than it was 4 years ago. Industries are closing down. The Banjul Brew is shut down. People are losing jobs. The whole hospitality industry are at home now. They have no job. So we are looking at these things and saying, for how long can Gambians endure this? How long have they been living in this poverty? And while we maintain a high-cost government, because this is all about government administration. There is no development. Only $2.9 billion is all that is the government is putting into the development of all this money we are talking about. Only $2.9 billion. The rest is all donor support. Otherwise, there will be no development in the Gambia. And this $2.9 billion is the Banjul project, the Hakalan roads, and few roads of the OIC finished. There's no other development. You're not going to see any water projects. You're not going to see anything in the next coming year because it's election. Once we build these roads, we say we are doing very good and we get re-elected. And for the next 5 years, we just suffer again. Yeah? Well, so this is my... in case I am a little bit passionate about it.
Sana, thank you very much. And this is the type of National Assembly members we want, people who would be okay with these issues, can properly articulate it. And we are looking forward to the National Assembly giving us Gambians a budget that is worthy of its name and not just rubber stamping any budget that comes before you. I really want to see that centralized services to be cut down to no more than, to me, not 10 billion. They should not even have $10 million in that. For what? If you need the money, come back and ask for supplementary budget. But put $2 billion there for what? That's nonsense. Yes.
Pasamba, I think that question about centralized services, let's wait till next Sunday. Then we will bring this issue to the ministry. And I just want to remind people, we have to challenge Sanna where Sanna is coming from. Next week, we're going to challenge the Ministry of Finance from where they're coming from. I mean, some people are making sure that I'm defending this budget. I ain't defending nothing.
He's the devil's advocate every time. But anyway, Sanna,
I'm just asking.
Banka has to go and eat, so we cannot keep him.
I gotta go and eat.
Thank you again, Sanna. Thank you so very much, my brother. I'm really proud of you. Keep it up.
Thank you, Sanna. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's better if we just have one, let's say, because if we had Sanna the whole 3 hours, I think we could have really gotten into the, rather than
but the thing is with Sanna, he was, because of Digby arguing on it, so he had to squeeze everything. So But you know, next week we'll have your the guys from the Ministry of Finance, and hopefully they will come here and then explain. I have questions and I need answers. But anyway, thank you, man.
Exactly. and we're gonna push them like we push anybody that comes to this program.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Enjoy your food from Nekani. You know, it's okay. Because that's the first thing he mentioned.
Very much. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, and there goes Musa with his big cup again, getting Pata all excited.
But the is all over it.
BJ!
Right now, because I have to have a debate with him. Post-debate with Pata PJ.
You guys go ahead and have your debate. I gotta get out of here and go eat some food.
All right, man.
All right.
Rapa Faal yang tadi nalala yang kumandi TRRC bar esa Faal yang kumandi lakonya keep doing what you do. Miral bal, punchline sul kayan leka pasada tal. Bal nimbal, belarim bal kangam bos ko bilal. Bal nimbal, leka na music wala mo yalo na walal kalal nindal. Man kanya 24 suda buayal. Gulu kumbal, ada hapok war bal la bata fe maje. Faal de fakambol no masabatal. Lampu bal. Future be bright in co general.